Welcome. We are here for the Shared Hearth Open Gaming Weekend from presented by the, Open Hearth Gaming Community. I'm Mads, she, they pronouns, and I am going to be GMing this game of The Hunted by Chris Bissett. Okay. Um, I'm not familiar with everybody here, so I want to go ahead and make some player introductions. I mean, like some people might not have played with each other before too, so I'd like to hear, obviously name, pronouns, and if you have any experience with The Hunted before or Forged in the Dark games, and what you're excited to, to see or do playing the game today. All right, so let me get started from, left to right on my screen. Can I start with Roy, please?
Yeah, I'm Roy, he, him. I have played with Kay and Helba before. Um, I have played Forged in the Dark games, ran Forged in the Dark games, but I've never played The Hunted. And I'm just here for the entire experience.
Fantastic. All right. Kay.
Hi, I am Kay. I use she and they pronouns. I've never played The Hunted, and I think I played Blades in the Dark in 2022 at PAX East. Um, but I have very limited experience with the Forged in the Dark system, so I'm very excited to check out a new group. And I think I actually have the pleasure of knowing everyone here.
Nice. All right. Will.
Hi, my name's Will. My pronouns are he, him. I've played a bunch of Forged in the Dark games. I've never played The Hunted. It reminds me of Quietus, which I think is the closest, the most identical one. And I've played with a few people here, although it's escaping me which game in particular. I don't think I've ever actually played with you, Mads. I think we've
No, I don't think we have.
tried.
No.
I think we've tried to arrange The Hunted like 3 times separately, and yeah.
Yes.
So I'm glad it's finally happening. So.
Yay. Very cool. Yeah, I have not played Quietus yet, so that's an experience that I'm looking forward to at some point in my gaming life. And Helba.
Yeah, Helba, I use fair pronouns, and I have played and run some Forging the Dark games before, but not this game specifically. So I'm just curious to check it out.
Very cool. All right, awesome guys. All right, thank you. Pardon. So we're gonna go through a round of cats. So CAT stands for concept, aim, tone, and subject matter. Again, to make sure we're all on the same page in terms of like vibes and how this game is gonna kind of go. Could deviate just a little bit, but then like for the most part, try to swing back to like getting back on track of the expectations of how this should be or can be played for our table. Okay, and I just want to, of course, just say that because we are under the Shared Hearth weekend, then we are playing under the Open Hearth Community Code of Conduct. We are a gaming community all over the world, basically, and so, yeah, we have a code of conduct, to include safety tools and to have certain principles that we go by to in order to play games safely with consent, and of course, like hopefully enjoy the games that we're playing together collaboratively. Okay, so concept. Let me go into my info tab. All right, great. Concept. The Hunted is a game about a group of friends on a weekend break who become lost on location. As their surroundings become hazy and they're increasingly isolated, they become aware they're being hunted by something they can't identify. Aim. We play to find out if this found family can survive against the worst of odds, and to find out what stories the players will tell about the things that scare them. Tone. This is a game of horror, violence, and being afraid. While there's some possibility of humor when the characters begin, it will descend into darkness as they navigate the area and attempt to escape their hunter. Subject matter. The Hunted has the potential to delve into some dark places, to conjure painful images, and touch on traumatic events that may affect some players in unexpected ways. Given that, we do have safety tools that are available to the players to play this. Safety tools include script change, so basically anytime that there's any kind of uh, something that you want to just kind of like, oh wait, let's stop and like think about this or discuss this. Pause. And then rewind if we have to just kind of back it up a little bit to get to a point where we all agree that this is the place that we want to start over. And then fast forward if we just want to like, okay, we don't want to role play something fully, we just like want to just get through it. Fast forward, just go through it. Open door, we have the possibility of like, if for whatever reason you have to step away for the scene for a moment, like, you know, take a break, take a breather, do human things, or that, you know, this is not the game for you, which is perfectly fine. You would just open door and then just let us know if you're planning on coming back after a few moments or not at all. Okay. We will not ask you why you're open dooring. And then lines and veils. We have a safety tab on our character keeper for today's game. And the safety tab contains lines, which are things that we will not include in the game whatsoever. They're not included in the world that we're going to be playing in. And then veils are things that may be mentioned, may come up, but we will not role play fully and they will just fade to black on them. Okay. So if everybody has filled in lines and veils on this, I'm just going to go ahead and review. Yeah, let's see. Lines: fat phobia, sexism, racism, sexual assault, sexual violence, homophobia, transphobia, peril to pregnant women and infants, and names: Sandy, Mark, Zach, and Lauren. Yeah, lines, I mean, are things that you, again, don't want mentioned in the game. So, I mean, like, if you have any kind of, like, triggering effects on any, like, names, like, of your ex or whatever, I mean, it doesn't matter. Just, like, go ahead and put it under lines. Veils. Let's see what we have for veils. Give me a second. Looks like no veils on this one. And we do have columns for ask first and interested. Interested, let's see. Human sexuality, kissing, kink, cults, corruption, seduced to the dark side, mind control, memory loss, dissociation, and stalking, which is very, very possible in this game of the hunted. You guys are playing the hunted. Yeah. And then, unfortunately, like, I wasn't able to include a romance matrix in this particular thing, but I mean, because the kissing and such was included in here, I'm happy if anybody wants to put under their characters, like, you know, like consent for romance with PCs, romance with NPCs. I'm not saying it'll always happen, but just in case, in this way we know. Alrighty. And yeah. That covers cats and safety. Any questions? Oh, and the safety tab is a living document. So if there's any changes, like you want to add something to it, just call attention to it, like either DM me or just make it known in the chat, like just double check the safety tab. You know, definitely let me know. And then just all I ask is that nobody downgrade something like a veil, excuse me, for a line into a veil, okay? Like, you know, like you can always upgrade, but don't downgrade for respect for your fellow players. Okay, great. Like somebody's put in like a romance for their particular character. That's awesome. Okay, so at this point, let's do a little bit of character creation. There's 4 playbooks. There's, excuse me, the Jock, the Skeptic, the Outsider, and the Resilient. It looks like everybody has picked out their particular playbook. Let me just go through the actions that you have to go through here for the character creation. All right. So, playbook choice. You would fill in your name, your pronouns, your personality, and your look for your playbook. And then each character would be adding 3 action dots to any of those stats that are in there under nerve, wits, or luck. Again, you would fill in 3 action dots anywhere, you know, to fill in your character, what do you think you'll need. And I'll explain what the different stats are in a minute. And then you would also pick one of those special abilities. Yeah, one special ability for right now under your playbook. While everybody's like kind of looking things over, I'm just going to explain some basic actions that are available to them for their stats. So flee is under nerve and it's run for your life. Still is do your best to remain quiet and unnoticed. Hold is stand firm and maintain resolve. Under wits, we have scout, which is hunting for landmarks and knowing the right way to go. Study, scrutinize details and understand signs and symbols. Track, look for clues and follow trails. And then under luck, we have scavenge, search for useful items and cobble together solutions. Risk, take a chance or do something foolhardy or desperate. And scrap, you fight for your life or defend yourself. So those are the basic actions that the characters have. A role should always have a concrete goal and a consequence for failure. So this is where like playing in this system in Forged in the Dark has some interesting mechanic. Yeah, all right. And then I will explain different things as they come up. I mean, like, I don't want to, like, bog this down too much. But if everybody has picked out their, excuse me, their 3 extra action dots, that's cool. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, great. And let's see. And picking out a special ability. One for right now, and then like once we hit Act 3, then you get to pick another one as the characters advance. Okay, but for right now, you get one of
That
those.
feels like such little amount of dots.
Yeah, it seems very, very sparse. I know. I'm so sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. I'm just commenting on the game. Which you're fine. No sorries from Matt.
And you can't go wrong with any of the special abilities. I mean, like, again, this is a one shot, so don't feel like, oh my god, it's like I can't min max this thing. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. If anything, if you're used to playing towards, oh my god, like what's going to be useful in a situation, think of it instead as how can I parlay what I pick as a move, as an ability, towards getting the job done. So you could always parlay me. That's not a problem. And while everybody's finishing up there, go ahead.
I just wanted to highlight, I don't think any of your starting actions can be over 2 in Act 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I believe that is correct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Thank you for letting us know.
Yeah, you can bump that up like when you get into character advancement in Act 3, but like for right now, no above 2. Thank you for pointing that out, Will.
No worries.
Real quick, what was the description for Scout?
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go back to that. Scout is hunting for landmarks and knowing the right way to go. Pardon. Okay. And let's see, special ability. Everybody's picked a special ability. Fantastic. Okay. So while just to finish up, there is a mechanic called spin a story, and we'll get further into it right now. But I mean, I think there was a bit of confusion one of the last times that I've run this, and I just want to point out that even though the name of the game is The Hunted, what the focus is on, and it's mentioned in the cats, is that your spin the story. The narrative prompts are for creating the monster that chases you. Okay, so I mean, like if you're familiar with like Carr from Brindlewood games, I mean, a lot of the narrative prompts are about the character themselves and revealing backstory. If you want to get like deep into your character or like want to kind of play off the other characters, that probably should happen like in conversation or your actions about your character, okay? Because the spin the story prompts are mainly about building this thing that's following you, that's hunting you down. So I mean, like just so like you don't get confused about like what the point of the spin the story is. I mean, like, so again, these narrative prompts are mainly for like creating the thing that is going to be the thing terrorizing you guys. All right, so yeah, okay, mechanically, there we go. I think everybody's like filled in all of their stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and do some character intros. Give me a half a mo. Okay. All right. Yeah. So we can start from left to right on the character keeper. Excuse me. Um, so Kay, can you go ahead and introduce your character by name, pronouns? I'm betting I know what he looks like because Kay plays the same type of character every time, and it's great. And then read the blurb that's underneath the playbook, and anything else that you want to mention about your character.
Yeah, so I am playing Jude Stradler, he, him, mostly because I thought it would be funny if we had matching character names, considering I noticed Will and Roy also had matching character names. So I was like, I'll match with Helba. Uh, they are the Jock. They are sporty, athletic, conventionally attractive. It seems like you've got it made, even if most people treat you like there's nothing more to you than that pretty face. You're the person everyone wants to be, or at least that's what you tell yourself.
Fantastic. Do you want to mention your special ability at the moment?
Yeah, sure. So the special ability I've chosen is Natural Leader. When the when the rest of your group turn to you for leadership or to make a decision, choose one. Take a 1d6 to your next action roll or clear one fear.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. All right, Helba, please introduce us to your character.
Yeah, so Juno Stargazer, she's a skeptic. So you pride yourself on being the sensible one. You don't take risk, you don't get out of control, and you definitely don't believe in monsters. But you would best start believing ghost stories fast because now you are in one. When people call you the sensible one, they somehow make it sound like an insult, but you have no idea why.
And what's your special ability?
I will pick stranger than fiction. When you suffer a consequence from something unnatural or impossible and you choose to resist it, describe a possible rational explanation for what you have just witnessed. Then add +1 to your resistance roll.
Okay. Cool. Let's go to Will. Please introduce us to your character.
Hi, I'm playing Paul Keller, the outsider. Live life on the fringes, never quite fitting in anywhere. People don't necessarily dislike you, but they don't really take a shine to you either, although they brought you here with them, which must count for something. What they don't realize is that you've spent all this time watching them, and you know them better than they know themselves. And I did just change my special ability to hidden damage because I didn't choose that at first because I noticed that every playbook has one that is like, if you intervene on behalf of somebody, take an extra die. And I didn't want us all to have the same mutual self-benefit kind of thing.
Okay.
So I shifted it over because I was like, all right, now I can throw myself under the bus for people. Great.
Oh my gosh. All right, great. Cool. All righty. And Roy, please introduce us to your character.
I'm playing Connor Kennrick, he, him. He is the resilient, and his text says, "Why do bad things happen to good people? You wish you knew the answer, but you don't. All you know is that bad things will happen, and you need to be ready to face them when they do." And the special ability that I took was Always Prepared. When you need a specific item, say what it is and roll Scavenge with +1 die. On a 6, you have it already. Tell everyone why you brought it with you. On a 4 or 5, you can find it here, but something is wrong with it. The guide will tell you what. On a miss, you have it, but the guide takes a myth point.
Okay. All right, so let's see. Okay, so we've gotten the characters, um, uh, special ability, the action dots all filled in and such. Now we're going to go to the character relationship builds. So each character, excuse me, each playbook has two questions that they or two pull list of questions that they can pick from. And so you would pick two of those questions and then ask separate characters one question each. All right. So I don't know if everybody has their stuff ready. I can start from the from right to left this time. So Roy, go ahead and ask your first. We're going to do one question first all the way through, and then you want to try to connect it to another character, and then we'll go through the second question, in a row. All right. So go ahead and ask your first question. Sorry, let me get your character name. Connor. Connor, ask your first question of one of the other characters.
People call me cold and distant, but you know I'm not. What experience do we share that makes us close? And I'm going to ask that to Juno.
And you want to go ahead and fill in the answer that you get into the space underneath that question.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So what do you think happened? Because right now the characters are pretty sparse. I'm not.
Well, was there a situation where we were in shared danger, or where I showed I cared about you in some way, or what do you think? You got anything?
Yeah, I think maybe there's something like maybe there's like maybe we are because we are students, right? Because based on the name and description of this playbook, Matt.
Yeah, you can basically be anywhere from like high schoolish to college age. I've even had somebody play like a middle-aged waitress that knew the college kids that she was accidentally with, like for this adventure. Yay. So yeah, but
Yeah,
for the
so
most part.
assuming like we are both students, I'm thinking maybe we are in some kind of we have some kind of project together, and I think I'm too eager to like get a good result, and I burn out, and I think that when I see like when Connor is just, I think he's just kind of like there, like it's not kind of like a grandiose, like I'm going to take you to places or like I'm going to cook you a meal, but it's just like he checks up on you and like he brings coffee and the kind of like quiet strength that you have to really know the person to realize how much that takes to be there for other people.
Okay. So the little quiet things.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay.
Cool. Alrighty. And let's see. Cole, yeah, ask your first question.
I'm going to change him to Cole because it just occurred to me that Cole is a very British name that no one is going to remember to say the right way.
Okay, sorry.
No, that's fine. It's just I only know one Cole in my entire life. It's just Colin, But anyway,
Oh, okay.
Cole Keller's a better name, anyways. In the horror, the producers punched up the scripts at the last. Yeah.
Got it. That has happened. I've seen that.
What? Uh, when was a time you came to my defense in a social situation? And I'm gonna, I think the natural fit for that is the Jock, Jude Stradler. The sporty, athletic, conventionally attractive. It seems like they got it made. Who else would you want to come to your defense in a social situation?
Yeah, I think there was let's see, it's a good social situation. There was a party, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, what's Cole doing here? Like nobody wants Cole here." And I think some drunk frat idiot kind of like came over to you and like did like the push on your shoulder, and I think Jude like walked over and was just like, "Whoa, no, 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 everyone, has a right to be here. He's not doing anything, uncomfortable. And frankly, he was having a good time. You're the one who's being the fucking weirdo. And I like shoved the other, guy. And I think we got into like a bit of a scrap that I clearly won.
Yeah,
That guy kind of went home, like, licking his wounds. And I kind of put an arm around Cole and like showed him around and like took him around the rest of the night and made sure like no one else bothered him and he had a good time.
I like that. I mean, we both got a bit beat up fighting Jock Bros off. You were the Jock Bros off, yeah, and then you took me under your wing. Nice. I
The
like it.
frat bros, not the jock bros. You can't bring the jocks, it's the frats.
I mean, you all look the same to me, guys. Okay, it's the big shoulders and the jerseys.
It's true.
Yeah, yeah.
So true.
But you're one of the good ones.
Oh man,
Thanks.
so good. That's great. Okay, and Juno, go ahead and ask your first question of one of the other characters, please.
Hmm. Yeah, I think I'm going to ask Cole, why did you come to me for advice recently?
Um, I came to you for advice recently. Came to you for advice recently because I owe a lot of money to somebody quite bad. I'm in with them, and it's all getting out of hand. And you're the sensible one.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. And so just to clarify, are you guys still in uni or are you out of uni? What do you think?
Still in uni seems great.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
final year sort of thing. You know, like towards the end of it rather than the early
Yeah.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good. Okay. I just wanted to to clarify for myself. It's like, how old are you guys? All right. And then yeah, Jude, go ahead and ask your
Yeah.
first question.
You're my oldest friend. When did we meet? And I am going to offer that to our resilient.
I would say we met in high school, or no, let's say junior high,
Okay.
and kind of an unlikely pairing, but you, I was the shy kid, very quiet, eyes always darting around all the time, and you kind of took pity on me, and maybe we lived next door to each other, and we got to know each other that way, and you kind of started including me and stuff, and forced me to kind of connect with people in a way that I hadn't before.
Nice. Oh, and I'm so sorry, but feel free and ask each other more clarifying questions if you need to, to get more meat on these bones. All right, so let's come around back to Connor. Go ahead and ask your second question of one of the other characters.
What did I say to you that gave you a hint about my dark past? And I'm gonna send that over to Cole.
You gave me great advice on how to cover up, or what's it called, like ice and soothe the bruises and the scrapes and the cuts and things. Like you told me, if you ice this, if you put this cream on, blah blah blah, it'll fade in a couple of days. What you don't want to do is etc. So yeah, you gave me medical advice on covering up my fight injuries.
Okay, that's great. Thanks.
Okay. Cole, go ahead and ask your second question.
What secret did we learn together that we can never tell? I'm just looking at what we've got. So we got the resilient to the skeptic, me to the jock. Skeptic. Now we're in the tricky part of where I can't immediately identify someone who hasn't got an existing link going up. What secret did we learn together that we can never tell? Would it be okay if I just said, does anyone want to take that? Does anyone have any ideas off the top of their head?
Yeah, there you go.
I can go again, but I don't want to double dip on you. That feels rude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel as
yeah.
though it's yeah.
Yeah, I think I can take that. So
Cool.
I think what we let me see. I think it's obviously it's something that we can't explain, right? Like I think it's something that happens when we are like much younger, like when we are teenager or even children, and it's something that definitely happened, but there's no way anyone else is going to believe us. So like it's not something bad, like we killed someone, but it's like we saw or experienced something that's just impossible.
Yeah, and maybe like that's pushed you into trying to find explanations for things, and it's pushed me into saying that there is no explanations for things, right?
Yeah.
Um, maybe like what secret did we learn together that we can never tell? Maybe we learned what would that be? Because I'm just conscious that I know that like the setup questions in Act One had a lot of stuff like about a dead friend or blah blah blah, like that could be where I'm immediately jumping
I
to
mean,
with
it
this.
could be something even mundane. I mean, like in
Yeah.
one playthrough that I did, somebody had said it's like, we both found out that, somebody's dad was a drug dealer in school, that kind of thing, So, I mean,
Okay.
it doesn't have to be something like, so wackadoodle that's like, oh no. And I just find
Yeah,
it interesting that it's between the skeptic and the outsider. So it's like, wow. I'd be like, what could they share together
yeah,
as a secret?
I think I like the idea. It's something more strange. I think okay, how about this? Like the idea is that I think let me see. We have a third mutual friend between Juno and Cole who went missing. And then like so I found like Juno, I found a like a newspaper clip in the archive about the missing kid. The problem is the paper clip dated like 30 years before, and like the kid isn't 30 years old. So like it's like the timeline doesn't add up. Like he went missing, but 30 years ago there's a newspaper clip. So like this is like even if we tell someone, they would just say, "Oh, you are mistaken. Like you remembered her appearance wrong, and like maybe they are related, etc., etc." But we are both convinced this is the kid who got missing, and somehow like there's a newspaper clip about them 30 years ago, and we cannot understand why that's happening.
I like it.
So our childhood friend who went missing.
Yeah.
We saw our childhood friend who went missing. Can we call him? Does Michael work as a name? Just to
Yeah, sure.
yeah. Our childhood friend Michael who went missing was in a newspaper years before his birth. He was even meant to be born. Like, does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that because that's also a good one in terms of like, look, there's a reasonable explanation. There's only so many faces in the world, right? And doppelgangers and blah blah blah. Like, cool. Okay.
Like it. Okay, great. Sorry. And then, yeah. So, Juno, ask your second question.
Yeah, I think at this point I'm going to just pick Jude and ask, why are you intimidated by me?
You know so many things. How do you keep it all straight in your head? It's wild. Like, you remember all the dates in our history class. Just like a magical font of knowledge.
I like that magical font of knowledge. It's great. Okay, cool. All right. And Jude, ask your last question.
Yeah. Because secrets always make great friends. Let's see. I have something with everyone. Let's make Cole the holder of all the secrets. What secret did we share recently, Cole?
Ooh. Um, I don't know, that we cheated on something or that we stole something.
No.
Like, yeah, maybe we cheated on our
I have a
midterm. Is that a thing?
I have a funny answer and I have a more serious answer.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
How do you feel? Do you have any?
Um, let's go with the serious answer.
Okay, serious answer. So yeah, I think let me know. Okay. If this is too spicy, please let me know. So uh we cheated on the midterm final. However, we specifically cheated off like another student who got then like punished for like we didn't get caught, they did, and they got punished for academic fraud and like killed themselves.
I mean, I'm 100% there
So
for
we
this because,
we
like,
are
it's a
like,
horror movie, right? Like, I'm 100%
yeah,
on
like, and
board.
that's on us, and we fucking, that's a secret thing that we did that we fucking cannot talk about.
Mm.
Yeah. I think I'm going to add she's in my study group.
She was in your study group.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, she was in your study group. Okay.
oh man.
Do you
Should we
want a
Ooh.
give some?
name for this person? Yeah.
Hmm. We have Michael.
Okay.
Maybe something like Carrie.
Carrie?
Carrie,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's not one of
So
the forbidden names, so yeah, go for it.
yeah.
And to make it even worse, Carrie was the first girl that I really liked.
Yikes. Wow, we really fucked someone up.
No!
Carrie's midterm final. So yeah, so Cole and Jude cheated on the midterm file using Carrie's answers. Um, she got charged with academic dishonesty, and committed suicide. All right, now that we're all terrible people.
And as we know from Trophy, if everybody's played Trophy, it's like that's the most brilliant part about being in a horror movie. It's like, ooh,
Now that we
spicy
deserve
stuff
to die.
happens. Yeah, yeah, some of that shit. Yeah, some of that shit. Okay, not about questions. All right, great. Do do do. Backstory, personality, and relationships with others will develop as you play. Okay, let me just double check myself. Okay, great. So we have the character questions. We've established some relationships with each other. Now we're going to go into questions about the world. And like I'll probably be skating close to the hour mark. So I mean, I know I want to try to give breaks somewhat on the hour. So like, let's get through Act 1 stuff first, world building, and then we'll go ahead and take our first break. Okay? So, setting. Let me have, please, can I have Juno roll me a d6, please?
Hold on. Let me get.
Dice.
I got a 1.
Okay. 1. The place that you are in. So I'm answering the question, what is this place that you guys find yourselves in? You find yourselves in a vast, barren moorland at high elevation. And I will ask the next question. Give me a second. All right. And then for the next question, let me have Cole roll me a d6, please.
Juno, 1.
Oh my God. Oh man. UK. So why did you come to this place together? Because you're on a weekend trip, hiking, camping, and getting away from it all. Okay. All right. Okay. So there's several questions in here, and I'm going to ask each person to give me an answer. All right. All right, Jude. Once you got here, tensions started to rise quickly. Describe the situation. Where are you all right now in this place? Oh, and if you want to follow along with these questions, you can go into the Acts tab. I'm under Act 1, and I'm filling in these questions, okay? So, yeah, Jude, where are you all right now in the situation?
So I think right now we're in a lean-to kind of shelter that we've built against a butte that has this little like waterfall coming down off of it, and it's probably the greenest thing we've seen since we've gotten here.
Okay. Excuse me. Connor, who has been irritating you the most since you got here, and what are they doing?
Is that something you want, or is that a question or just a die roll?
Oh, no, this is a question.
I would say that Cole has been irritating the most, and he's just like smoking way too many cigarettes. It's like driving me nuts. It reminds me of something.
All right. And Juno, what is the thing that's making you feel anxious right now, and who knows about it?
I think. So we are here on like holiday, right?
Yeah, weekend trip. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what makes me anxious here is that this is where Carrie always wanted to come, like after the exam. And obviously who knows about it is Connor. Because like I think this is the plan we have talked about, like Connor said, oh, we should unwind after, like maybe he's in a study group or he come to a study group to like visit, like to check on us, and then like I'm like, oh, I don't care, like rest is for I don't know. And like Carrie said she always wanted to come here, so we just decided to come here.
Oh man. Yeah. Damn. I should mention too, and I forgot to do this. I apologize, but um, there's touchstones for this game. Chris had mentioned, the designer had mentioned Blair Witch Project, The Ritual. Troll Hunter and A Field in England, and my own personal favorite that I mention is The Descent. So, yes. Wow, this is already like
Well,
wrapping up into some interesting things.
I mean, you didn't just recommend The Descent. You said The Descent, but not the second movie. Which I
No, not the second movie.
love.
No. Right. Yeah, no, we don't talk about the second movie because the second movie don't exist. Oh hell no. Just the first one. Just the only one. Yes. Okay.
Kind of like Highlander 3, huh?
You know what? I haven't seen I saw Highlander 2, but I didn't see Highlander 3.
It doesn't exist, that's why.
Okay. That's okay. I know nothing about it. All right, great. All right. And Cole, why do you keep falling behind?
I was being an asshole, man. Like, snaps at me every time I come near. Like, just give me space. Jesus. Like, every time I spark up, he like pretty much bites my head off. So yeah, bad vibes.
I'm sorry, bad vibes from whom?
Connor.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm really pissing him off. But from Cole's perspective, I'm like, what a douchebag.
Okay. All right. And another round of questions. Okay, so give me a sec. Okay. Your problems are bigger than just a bit of arguing. So, Connor, what was your first hint that something wasn't right?
It was probably when we saw that wolf gutted and basically hanging from a tree, like attached to the tree in some way. Will, how is that wolf attached to the tree?
With uh with red string, like splaying it out, like paws and head sort of tied up against the branches.
Okay. Alrighty.
That shit just ain't normal.
No. Jude, who are you looking to for guidance and why?
I think I'm looking to Connor for guidance. Actually, should I? Okay, I have two ideas, and let me know what y'all like better. I think like one of the obvious answers is like Connor, who's like the resilient who like seems to know these things, is a great resource there. But at the same time, I did say that Juno knows everything. So am I looking to Juno because Juno knows everything, or am I looking to like Connor because Connor has this like survival kind of etiquette and patch that I know he has?
I mean, it doesn't specify that you can only use one, but I mean,
Oh,
for different
Yeah.
reasons. So yeah, I mean, like I think we could do both. So looking to
I
Connor.
also feel
Okay.
like maybe at the beginning you are like more listening to Juno because like everything still seems like it's reasonable if like a little weird, but as things get worse, maybe you will trust Connor more.
yeah, I think I'm fine with both. I think both are good.
Okay.
Looking to both, Juno because Juno knows everything, and Connor because Connor knows all this woodland camping stuff. This is my first time going camping. Is that like a thing that like poachers do, man? Where they tie things with red string up on trees?
No, man, it's something killers do.
Grody.
Something's wrong. Something's wrong.
Yeah, it's probably just some kind of satanic ritual or something. Oh, don't worry, it's not. It's not as scary as it sounds. Satanists exist. They are not so different from Christian and everything. It's just their rituals are more grisly, the religious fanatic types.
So it's like
Juno,
performance.
It just goes from like bad to worse. I love it. Oh my god, you guys
Juno,
are
that's
great.
not something some dumbass kids do, okay? I mean, look at those cuts.
Yeah, no, no,
Those are
no. I know, I
clean.
know, I know. But there's a difference between a religious fanatic and a religious fanatic murderer. So let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Okay, so since Juno knows everything, I'm gonna ask Juno, who do you think knew that something was going to go wrong and why?
Yeah, actually, I think I'm going to say let's call, because I think like back when Michael went missing, I think Cole started to maybe not notice, but he started to feel like something is wrong, like faster than anyone. Like he's telling like Michael's parents that I think he's like saying he hasn't been around, and like maybe even his parents were just like, oh, he maybe he's crashing at a friend's house, or like he's in a library. Like I think there's a sense like Cole just somehow intuitively realize something is up before like even the adults realize, oh, okay, something is really really wrong.
Nice.
Yeah. The whole time we were planning this trip, I was like, I don't know, guys, something, like, you sure? I don't know. Yeah. Bad feel Cole gets bad feelings about things beforehand, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a intuition danger radar, as I call it. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think like a reason being floated to doing this trip is that either Juno or Connor definitely mentioned it. Oh, but this is what Carrie always wanted to do, and
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh boy. All right, Cole, what specific thing happened on the way here that has already set you on edge? Yeah, so that kind of dovetailed into it. That was by
I mean,
accident.
I would love to take that, frankly. I would love to
Yeah, no,
take
no,
just,
that's why I'm giving it to you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I mean, what specific thing that happened on the way here had already set us on edge?
Yeah.
That we argued about whether it was a good idea, whether we should come up here or not, and it really pushed the it's what Kerry always wanted, uh, and yeah, sidelong glance between Cole and Jude uh, as we capitulated to the groups. Yeah, it'll be great. It's what she always wanted. Yeah, puffs away under the cigarette. Yeah.
Mm, mm. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Do do do. Okay. So this is the third part of this setup. Growing problems. Okay. The answers to these two questions provide your obstacles. You only have to, deal with one of these things to be able to hit um, advancement and head right into Act Three. Okay, so these are the two things that will be set up that you're going to find yourselves in, and again, you only have to sort of resolve one of them before you can go right into Act Three. Um, but you can solve both if you want. But anyway, something has just gone wrong. What is it? I need. Hold on. Let me see. Let me have Jude roll a d6. This is a roll.
Dose.
Dose. Oh boy. Okay. You just lost contact with the outside world.
Oh, spicy.
Why?
Is that for me or for everyone?
That's for you.
Okay. Um, I think just like very suddenly, all reception like just gone. No signal. And it's like we haven't moved. So it's not like we're in a place that suddenly has no signal. It's just all signal suddenly gone.
Right. Okay. Alrighty. And then Connor. Go ahead and roll a d6 for me, please.
One.
Oh boy. Think as you're trying to find signal, I think. Okay, so Connor, what is the meaning of the strange idols and pieces of folk art that you found? And actually, like, this is for Connor and everyone else as well. But yes, what is the meaning of the strange idols and pieces of folk art you found? Or what do you think they mean?
They're a warning of some form. Um,
They look
maybe
like
they're.
an.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, go for it. Finish your sentence. I thought you were done.
No, go ahead.
No, you go.
I'm cool sharing it. Let's go.
Mm. Uh, it seems like an origin story.
Mm. I just wanted to point out that in the book, it's as a group, describe what you found. I think
Yes.
that the mystery is what is the so we well because obviously we don't fully. So you think it's so Jude thinks it's an origin story. Connor thinks it's a warning.
Hmm.
Um, I guess the wolf is the obvious piece of folk art. Man, that's some fucked up art. But you know, what else have we found? Do you think um, maybe like um, hmm, maybe
Oops.
like painted stones?
Yeah.
Some, you know,
Yeah, or
like
carved stones, something like that.
yeah,
Okay.
Something
yeah,
more like old.
yeah. Maybe with like some sort of red dye in the carvings. You know, that reminds us of the red string that tied up the wolf. Um, yeah, of,
Okay.
Yeah. And maybe that's
I'm
the only
gonna
color on it is red.
Ooh.
yeah.
The rest of it's just stone.
Oof. Okay.
I think there's a bunch of empty eggs, and they're all different kinds, like snake eggs, bird eggs, other reptile eggs, like eggs we can't even necessarily like. We don't know what this is, and they're just like empty shells. Like they're not destroyed. They're just like clearly something has left it.
You think hatched?
Yeah,
Okay.
That's never a bad thing in a horror movie.
yeah. All these different sized hatched eggs. Like one, this is definitely a bird egg. I remember a robin's nest when I grew up, and this is definitely a snake egg, and this is, like we all realize these are different kinds of eggs.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Awesome stuff. All right. So, we are a little past the hour, so we're going to take our first break, having finished up the Act 1 questionnaire. Yay. When we come back, we're going to jump right into Act 2. All right. So, let's take a 10-minute break, and we should be back on the, according to my watch, 16 mark. Okay. But 10 minutes. See you then. Okay. So we are going to be commencing into Act 2, but I just want to reiterate that the last two things, again, going on the Acts tab, the growing problems, the obstacles, again, you would just have to, those are the two things that you'd have to figure out or overcome before getting to Act 3. Okay? Um, yeah. Okay. Or at least it's a signal for me to, like, once you overcome one of the obstacles, is the signal for me to start wrapping up Act 2, and then you can jump into Act 3 after advancement. Okay, so you have lost contact with the outside world. All of your devices have either pinged or actually gone completely silent, and no signal is seen on all of your devices. And then you come across the wolf, and then some of the strange pieces of art in the carved stones, and these empty hatched eggs. And I think coming from the distance, you can't quite tell where. It almost sounds like it's coming from far away, but also around you as well. I think you're hearing like some sort of strange sound. It's like a clicking and a clacking and a scream all at once. And you hear a crash behind you. The path that you've taken up here to get here was probably like a barely seen track worn away by weather, and now somehow you see that it's covered over in bracken and rocks. That is not the way back. What do you do?
I told you we should.
Go for it.
Yeah, I told you we shouldn't have come up here. Like, I mean, what? Why now?
We could just like move the rocks, and Jude like goes to like pick one up and like throw it to the other side, but there's way too many of them, but he's still just going and grabbing a couple to like try as if that's like the option.
Oh yeah, maybe if we had like 3 days, Jude. Come on, man.
You should like put your back into it.
Yeah.
Connor will go find one that's a good size for a weapon and just kind of tuck it into his hoodie.
I think Cole will light another cigarette. Peer out from underneath his beanie around at the thing and squint and say, I mean, if we can't go back, I guess it's got to lead out somewhere, right?
Yeah. Juno, do you know like where it leads? You had like like the place or whatever. You were like the picker person.
So at this point, do I know like the geographic layout of this place?
Well, let's find out. So let's see. We can take.
Or is this something I will have to roll on or anything?
I would imagine I'd like, rolling for it to say possibly scout to hunt for landmarks and know the right way to go.
Yeah,
Or
sure.
track, whatever you feel like you wish to use. And again, if you don't have dots in it already, then try and parlay me for the stuff you do have dots in. Okay, so the way this works for the roll is that you pick one of those actions, and then we're going to build the dice pool. So let's see, you get 1d6 already to start, and then 1d6 for each point that you have if you have a dot in that chosen action. So are you using scout or track, and do you have any dots in that?
Yeah, I think I start with 1 point in scout.
Cool. All right. So then 1d6, then now 2d6. And then you can get 1d6, you can get up to two bonus dice. So one dice can come from assistance from a companion. They say how they help, but they gain 1 fear. Okay. Or you get 1d6 for pushing yourself. You say how you exert, and you gain 2 fear, or you spin one of your stories.
Yeah, I actually think this is a great chance to spin a story. So I think I'm trying to find a way out of here. But I think where we are going to do is actually part of the story. So I'm trying to say that, don't worry, there's an abandoned warehouse a few miles from here. I'm sure once we are there, we can find all kinds of vehicle equipment, maybe maybe come back to remove the rock, maybe get us on the road. I heard hmm, I heard there was a family. Oh no, I think I don't think I heard. There was a family who lived there, but but ever since their son killed his parents, I don't think anyone lived there anymore because they think the place is cursed or something. Superstitious, obviously. I mean, I don't even think their son is mentally ill or anything. I think it's just their parents, they are fundamentalists. They are like they holding on too tight a leash. So it's only a matter of time like he blows. So yeah, no problem at all.
No problem at all. It's
So
great.
like a murderer's house?
Yeah, but he's not there anymore. I think I mean obviously I actually don't actually, I'm just going to say like we are in a state with death penalties. Like he's like he's on he was sent on the chair or like I don't know chemical. Like he's long dead along with his family. There's no one here now.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that gets you, excuse me, 3 dice. 3 dice to roll.
Yeah, I think that's good enough. I'm going to roll.
Okay.
Let me see. This is like I
Oh, you
only
take the
need the
highest
high.
result. You take the
Yeah,
highest result that you got.
yeah. I got 1-6.
Okay. Alrighty. Great. So yes, you are able to determine the direction towards this property that you heard about, that's up here. And so, yeah, on a 6, a character does desired action without complications or consequences. So that's awesome. All right. So you're able to figure out, I mean, regardless of the devices, like, checking out, you are able to determine, direction wise where to go. And then you lead them down the path towards this particular property. I think you get to a point where you are on the a road downward, and then you can kind of see the roof of the property from where you are standing, like coming down this hill. It's a little bit rocky here. It's a bit treacherous because I think that even though you guys were fine in your lean-to, you were just there, either resting or what have you, for some reason, as you're coming down this hill, it seems to get a little steeper, more rocky, and it looks wet, as if it had recently rained. It looks slick.
Has it recently rained?
Not by where you were. So you have to make your way down this kind of crevasse hill to be able to get down to that property.
Connor will help Juno down a couple times, just like lending her hand and making sure she doesn't twist an ankle or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I noticed like the water, like the moisture, and like, this is unusual. It must be some kind of condensation or something. Probably some weather phenomena caused by the valley and the interaction of the airflow.
Paul's going to, like, I mean, do you think it still has a phone line or something in here? Like anything, maybe a fire? I don't know. Like, hello? Anyone in there?
Don't
Uh,
do that, man. Don't don't do that. Look, let me just go in and check it out real quick, okay?
I mean, if they have phone line or like their utility bill is probably no longer paid, but they may still have a fireplace we can use.
we'll go check it out together, Connor.
All right.
Look at it. Place is practically, it's so rotten. It's still wet, even though it hasn't rained.
Yeah, just put that damn thing out, okay? I mean, you can smell it a mile away. We gotta kind of like, I don't want to attract any attention, if you know what I mean.
From what, dude? Nobody here but us. They flick the cigarette like off into the brush.
You're not the only one with feelings, buddy.
Uh, I think Jude will just at least stamp it out so it doesn't start a fire.
Yeah, responsible.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry. Thank you. Uh,
I think okay, so as you make your way down these like wet rocks, and then maybe there's like some uh, gnarled trees that you're able to kind of like grasp as you make your way down. Um, well, let me find out what firstly, like what order are you going in? Like I know Connor's helping Jude, but I mean like who's going first and all that. I just want to kind of get an idea of like the line that's coming down.
I feel like Jude might put himself first
Okay.
because he's probably, he's 6'4", pretty big and bulky. Uh, he's like a football player. So he's kind of like, I'll be first. You just tell me what direction to go in case like some weirdo, he thinks Juno knows where they're going, but he also doesn't want to put her in front in case there's some weirdo or something.
Okay.
Yeah, and Connor's probably next, just a little bit in front of Juno, kind of helping her pick out a path
Okay.
and just showing he cares about her.
Which I guess puts Cole at the back.
Okay. Alrighty. Um, Jude, I want you to make a roll here because I think that even though you're trying to be as careful as possible and then like also like leading them into like kind of step where I step da da da, I think there's still the high possibility of slippage here, and maybe you're also distracted because you're trying to keep an eye on where that roof is that you see coming down, so you're aware of where this place is that Juno had pointed out.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and see what makes sense here. It's let's say risk because again, I mean like you're trying to make your way down this place that you're not really sure of, and the weather conditions have not helped the situation. So go ahead and make a risk.
So can I
Mhm.
say that my special ability kicks in here, natural leader? When the rest of
Ooh.
your turns do for leadership or to make a decision, choose one, take +1d6 to your next action, or clear one
Yeah.
fear.
So yeah. So this would be your 1d for next action roll.
Nice.
So you already have 1d to start, and then you can add this natural leader dice to that pool. And then let's take a look at. Do you have a point or two in risk?
I have none in risk.
Okay.
Uh,
Yep.
can I help?
Oh, okay. So then, like, here's the bonus dice. So, if Cole helps, you have to say how, but you gain one fear.
Yes.
Okay. So so long as you're okay with that, then that's cool. Then
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
How does Cole help?
Cole helps by because he's further back up, right? So
Yeah.
Jude he's higher up as we go down, and Cole is like going like, "Watch out for that rock, man! Like it's loose, because he's got a better viewpoint of like the trail going down, sort of thing."
Cool. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Okay. And then you can you can take the last bonus die either by pushing yourself, by saying how you exert and you gain two fear, or you spin one of those stories.
Let's see, what are my story choices? Yeah, so I'm gonna spin a story and be like, now that you mentioned about that house, Juno, I think I remember reading the article, and there was like a whole thing because it wasn't just like his parents. Uh, when they like went into the house after the initial death, they found just like all these bodies. There was like I think 5 co-eds or something they said, and they all were like kind of and like as he tells the story, he gags a little. I think uh, they had like cuts from like their abdomen to like their and like I don't remember what it was, but they like found stuff you put inside there, and so I think that is the awful thing that was found out here recently. It wasn't just this murder. There was some weird stuff.
Okay.
But
So you get
that's what I
4d6.
46.
4d6. And you take the highest result.
6.
Okay. So you get down okay. You're able to like Cole's helping you out. You hear him giving you like some direction of like no, not there, whatever. And then you avoid like severe slippage and a possible break to any limbs. Um, and then you make your way down the path and are able to help everybody else navigate downward as well. And I'm going to use one of my myth points. I think when you find yourself down at the bottom of this path, at the bottom of this crevasse, um, I'm using the wrong terms and I apologize. It's like I'm just trying to think of like picture like the the rock formations and such. But anyway, you find yourself at the bottom and you can see the house like like further along like behind some trees and down a crushed path. You see some of those stones again. They're they're intermittent. They're not regular, but you notice even by your foot as you're like watching everybody else make their way down. You look down and then you see, oh shit, there's one of those carved stones again.
Who is this? Jude noticing this or?
Yeah, Jude.
Okay. I think Jude feels like they're already kind of freaking out enough, so I think he just kind of picks up the stone and puts it in his pocket, and is gonna like pretend like it wasn't there, because they don't need to worry more. Like, it's already kind of freaky, and he doesn't want another thing that Connor and Cole can argue about. Like, he's just gonna tuck that rock in his pocket.
Okay. And I'm gonna say, for funsies,
Ooh, we like funsies.
I think when you excuse me, when you put the stone in your pocket, you realize that like down the path, like again, it's covered over in like crushed rock or like brush and branches and such. You can sort of make out there are more of these things around. Maybe not necessarily overt, maybe not necessarily like, right out in the open, but you just managed to spot them.
Ah, fuck me, my pockets aren't big enough.
No.
What? What'd you say, Jude?
What? Oh no, man, I'm like thirsty. And he like pulls his water bottle out of his back and like takes a sip.
Go easy on it, man. We don't know when we're gonna get more of that.
Yeah, no, but you can always like dig, right? I heard that's a thing. You dig until you find water, and then that water's like good, right?
You bring
You
you bring a
know
spade, Jude?
what the fuck's a spade?
Shovel.
It's an equipment you need to dig water.
Oh, okay. Well, like we got hands.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
maybe this.
I uh, I mean, humans invented tools, so we don't have to use our hands for everything.
I know, but like, do you have a tool?
Well,
I'm not
maybe
sure.
we can find one in the warehouse.
We
Okay, yeah,
brought
maybe
one
that
with
sounds good.
us. We brought one with us, and I kind of give a sidelong glance to Cole over here.
Oh, yeah, so you're carrying a shovel? I don't see it. Like, and he like walks around, like, does a thing. Like, no, where's your shovel? Does it? It's like a collapsible one. That's kind of cool.
Sorry, dude. That just went way over your head.
What?
Whoosh. I
I'm
think
sorry,
maybe,
but I have to just say, I mean, I love this himbo. God dang.
yeah. I think that's maybe like the first moment that Connor and Cole have shared a sort of like smile since like we set off, right? Like seeing Jude completely oblivious to this bit of ribbing. Like anyway, let's go check out the creepy murder house, right? Like
Yeah, yeah. And I like Jude intentionally, I think, kicks up a little dirt to like cover some more of the rock as he keeps walking.
um yeah, so but there is there's a bunch of these rocks, right?
Hmm.
Like yeah,
Yeah, you can't
so
cover up everything. And then, like, again,
yeah,
they're like not necessarily on the path. Maybe they're like, off by one of the trees or something, and like just kind of hidden by the brush that maybe you move out of the way. Um, but yeah.
yeah. So
Connor will lock eyes with Cole and kind of look down at him, but not say anything.
yeah, and as I think we see Jude's foot scuff over the one and then carry on down the path, right? Like you just see the camera of like Cole kneeling down to tie his shoelaces and picking one up. And I'd like to study it, I
Yeah,
guess. Yeah.
absolutely. Give me a second. Yeah. Go picking up a rock. Okay. All right, so study, scrutinize details, and understand signs and symbols. You get one die, of course, and then do you have any points in study?
I have 2 points in study.
Okay, so then you add another 2d6. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Two bonus die. You can get up to two bonus dice. Do you want assistance from a companion to get one bonus dice?
No, I think this is a fairly like, you know,
Yeah.
just him looking at it as he walks down the path.
Okay.
Uh,
And then another bonus dice could be had for either pushing yourself to say how you exert and gain two fear, or you spin a story.
I mean, I think it's good for you to have lots of myth points, isn't it? Right.
Yes.
So, yeah. I, uh, as I pick up this stone and this carved, I recall the book that I'd been reading from the university library. On loan from Miskatonic, of course. But Forsyth's Esoterica, makes reference to the folkloric symbols of left across the native peoples of this land, adopted by those who came in there after them. So I'll get an extra one for picking up the Book of Occult Symbols and Signs.
Signs book. Yep. So that's 2d. That should be 4d6 right now.
Yeah.
On study.
My highest is a 5.
5. Okay, give me a second. Alrighty. So on a 5, your character hesitates. You come up with a different approach or do it anyway with a minor consequence, which is like either minor complication or suffer harm. Obviously not like harm like, looking at a rock, but I might complicate your life a little bit. Let's see. But you're going to continue to study the rock, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and let's see. Give me a second. Yeah. I think when you study this rock, and I will describe the symbol that you see, but we can narrate like what you discern from it. Okay. I think that you see the carving as the other rocks had, but this one's very specific. This one was not only of like a splayed animal, just like you saw the wolf with the red string, but I think it's also where you see almost like on the other side of it, like almost like as if it was going to be a mirror image, like the wolf splayed, and then on the other side it looks like a human splayed in the same position. So
I like it. Yeah. Is that the
so
was that the complication or
no, Yeah, let me see.
Because I would say that probably scares Cole, and I don't know if marking a fear track is a mechanically how this system works.
It doesn't say that specifically. Hold on, let me see. For fear. But yeah, like you should get some kind of condition to complicate, like how you're doing, in this case. So I feel like, hold on, minor complication, certain wet, impact and effect.
Can you bank things like that for later in the system?
I mean, it doesn't say specifically that I could, but I can. I just want to like just double check my the fear track thing. Um, oh, you know what? It doesn't even have to have something to do with coal. I mean, like coal, you can register that you get scared seeing
Mhm.
this symbol, and I'm going to say that, you know, you hear a sound near you, and when you snap your head up to look through the trees, you see what looks like someone splayed in the same position as the wolf.
Holy sh! You guys see that? Like, is that is that a person? I can't quite make it out through the trees.
What are you talking about? Is it somebody being asked for help?
I don't know, man. Like,
What do you say?
and I'll point up to
Yeah,
through the trees, and yeah, like, is it just me or does that look like a person? You can see the red string, right?
Jude
Do
looks.
we
What is
see
he?
anything?
Yeah, Jude looks.
I mean, you see something like it looks like it like to Cole, it looks like a person that's splayed out in the same way the wolf was, but to you all, like in the distance, it looks like a tree formation, like the way the branches have kind of crossed each other and fallen down off of the tree. That's what it looks like to you. I mean, like, so you don't really register anything.
And we don't see anything like a red string.
But maybe the light cast maybe looks a little reddish, but like nothing like that really, you know.
Yeah, Cole, bro, when
Cole,
was the last time you drank water?
There's water and coffee.
Did you not bring like water?
And he pulls out his thermos, big thermos from his backpack,
I think
and he's like,
Jude.
there's water in this and coffee."
Cole, Cole will hand you his canteen. Here, man,
Yeah,
take a
Jude
swig.
and yeah, Jude also holds out his. I think both of them at the same time stretch out their hands with their water canteens. Like, take a sip.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
they'll just grab one and like be staring and like, I'm telling
yeah,
you guys, that's somebody up there.
yeah.
Looks
I think Juno is saying it doesn't look like anything to me. Like if you are overstimulated, it it makes you easier to fall into the cognitive bias of our brain to recognize pattern in everything. That's how people see like Elvis's face in Serial.
Uh, and Cole rolls his eyes and says, like, I mean, whatever, guys. Like, I swear that's somebody up there. Like, I don't know.
Do you
You
show
guys,
them the rock? Do you show them the rock that you have?
no, no. I think I just clutch it in my hand
Mm.
and slip it into my jacket pocket, and then just sort of like, push back the canteen and say, you know what, like, let's get this over with. Uh, I think maybe like where we can see the woods going up, it's like it'd be really difficult to try and climb your way up there. Like it's sort of like it would require us to kind of like go in and around, So
Yeah,
it's like us can just go
exactly.
immediately check it out, and I'm just gonna be like, like look, let's go check this out, and then if we carry on down the path, maybe we can double back, and I can show you all that what I'm seeing, right? You can all go to the opticians when you get back.
It just looks like a weird ass tree to me, man.
And he pulls a cigarette. He pulls another cigarette out and then looks at Connor and then very slowly puts it back into his pocket and tucks it away. Like, sure.
We're all, it's a stressful situation. It'll be okay. And you guys can tell Connor doesn't quite believe what he says.
Go into the spooky house.
Yeah, and I would love if Cole is just pushing past the others and walking straight into the, all care and caution sort of thrown to the wind, like through frustration. Because it's a horror movie, right?
Yeah. No, of course. Okay, so let me just clarify. So Cole is going first, like to the spooky house.
I think Connor will like rush to catch up with him and try to slow him down. And on the way by is like, Jude, keep an eye on Juno.
Oh, what? Yeah. Hey, Juno, what are you doing? He, looks over, like steps and waits for Juno, or even like goes backwards to go over to where Juno is.
Yeah, and Connor will go up to Cole and is like, let's be smart about this. Let's just take a quick look around and check this out before we go knock on any doors or anything crazy.
Before I describe like the nearby environment of the house, Jude, what are you doing?
What's Juno doing? Because I think Jude has gone over to Juno. So
Yeah, I think I'm not doing anything in particular because I don't, like most people, I don't actually think there's a person being sprayed. So I'm just like, I wonder what's gotten into him. Maybe too much coffee. I know that's what happens when you have too much blood in your caffeine system. So I think if I can, I want to. I mean, is there a way for me to check? Like, do I think there had been people or like animal activity around the house? Because I know it's been abandoned for a long time, but with all this rock, can I find out if like there's been people around here like in the past few days, like food tracks or like any sign that people have been coming and going and doing stuff around here?
You have a role to cover that. Track covers looking for clues and following trails. So yeah.
I do not have track. Let me see.
I mean, you can still roll on it. You would just get like less dice.
Or can I study it? Or can I study something?
Yeah, you can. Well, you can scrutinize some details about like the place. I mean, I want to see what the role is, like to see if you see any signs and symbols. So yeah, if you want to parlay me for study, I can totally do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
So I'm
1d6 to start, okay, and then you would get a d6 for each point that you have in study. How many points do you have?
So that's 2.
Okay, so alrighty, and then you can either like getting assistance from somebody, like from Jude, but they have to mark 1 fear if they're gonna say how they help you.
Yeah, no. I think Jude will help.
Okay, so Jude, tell me how you help, and then you would mark 1 fear.
I think how does Jude help? Oh god, yeah. I think Jude like goes to like haphazardly climb a tree a bit to get a better like vantage. So that and he's like, and so like this way you like this and then this and just like pointing things out from like a bit of a better viewpoint by recklessly climbing a fucking tree that probably can't entirely support his dumb thick, THICC 6'4" self.
Oh my God. You're gonna make me like, have you roll a risk roll. But I mean, like at this point, let me just like have you help Juno. Oh my gosh.
Like I mean, the flip side is I imagine Juno is like relatively small for her age, so maybe like Jude is just giving her a boost here and there, like, oh,
Okay.
I need to see like over that window and yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. We'll do that then. Okay. So that's a D6 for assistance, and then you can get another bonus die for pushing yourself, saying how you exert and gain 2 fear, or you spin a story. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I think that's enough for now. So I'm just going to roll my full.
4 dice. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let me see. Do I have? Oh, right. Yeah, I got 2 6s.
Ooh. Oh wait. There's a good bonus for that. Hold on. 2 6. Okay. No. That's a resist. Ah. Fudge. You know what? I'm just gonna give you something special for that. Give me a second. All right. So 6s. 2 6s. All right. Yeah. So if you do a resist and you get 2 6s, then you clear a fear as opposed to suffering no fear whatsoever. So that's kind of a good way to bring fear down if you experience it.
Yeah, but let also require you to already have fear.
Yeah. No. I know. But I mean, like we're
Yeah, I know.
this is
Yeah,
on a
it's
study.
still early. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say that hmm, you don't hmm, you don't see any indications of people necessarily, but you do see like signs of disturbance around the area, as if something has come through here. Some kind of, it's not completely like, buried over in leaves or rocks or anything like this. It looks like there has been some clearing of a path to lead to this to lead to this place, to this clearing that the house is in. And I'm going to say that, I'm going to give you something special for this. I think you realize that the way the path is cleared, you you go from one point to another of this clearing leading to the house. And then the camera will pan upwards as if by like, doing a zoom out, and you notice or you realize in seeing the pattern that it is the same shape as a splayed figure. That's what the camera sees, and that's what you realize.
Yeah. So I think at this point, Connor and Cole are already going in. Like, how far are they from Juno, and Jude?
I think they've gone ahead because Cole's like just kind of like, just charged on ahead, and then Connor went
Yeah.
to
So,
kind of stop him. So maybe like, you realize this pattern, like, down the path just leading into the clearing of the house, and they're like almost right on the porch. So what you two see, the Connor and Cole, is like looks like a two-story structure. It's gray. It's got like the pillars, columns, whatever the heck you want to call them, like, kind of like the supports for the porch. And then it's kind of like not like a, I don't know what roofs are made of, to be honest. Tiled roof. Tiled roof. Like it's like on a slant. And it looks like it has a chimney. So it looks like it has a fireplace here. Um, and it has two relatively dark windows. I mean, it's not a recent build. So, I mean, like, plain windows, maybe some shutters. But yeah, I mean, it essentially looks like two dark eyes staring at you from the house with a door, a solid wooden door, leading in. And then maybe the upper story has like 4 windows, almost like, for however many rooms upstairs, staring
Yeah.
down at you.
I think Connor will like grab Cole, like Cole's trying to walk right up to the door, and he just like grabs him by the shoulder and say, "Man, don't just go knock on the fucking door, man. Didn't you hear what Jude, read about this place? Let's let's look around and see if anybody's here. I'm not sure we want to meet him."
I mean, what Juno said about this place is the guy's dead. But hey, go on, man. Take a look around. If they're in
Come
there,
on,
they heard us arguing anyways.
let's go over this way. And I think we'll skirt around the house. I'm just trying to find any clues about anything.
Okay.
See if there's anybody here. See if there's any danger. Basically, I'm just trying to make sure it's safe for my friends.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, like, it sounds like track to me.
Yeah, it
Um,
sounds like track to me too.
okay. So, Connor, you get the 1d6 already. Do you have points in track?
Yeah, I've got a point.
Okay. So you get a d6 for that. And then you get bonus die if somebody's going to help. So, Cole, do you think you help for this, or are you just kind of like smoking and just like, he's worrying for nothing? What do you think?
I help for this. I'll take another point of fear.
Okay, taking another point of fear. All right. Um, so do you go together or do you split up?
We clearly split up because that's
Okay.
the horror. That's
All
the best
the
way
tropes.
to.
All the tropes.
All the tropes. Okay. Just making sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, you,
and
you
then
you take that way, I'll take this way. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, man, don't do anything stupid, okay? Just let's not go inside yet.
Okay. And then your last bonus die could be either pushing yourself to say how you exert and gain 2 fear, or you spin a story. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I'm good right now. I think we'll
Okay, so
just stick with the 3.
3d6.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
4. 2 fours actually.
Okay. You do it with consequence. Suffer harm and major complication. Oh boy. Fun. Now, you can, if you don't like this, I can tell you what the consequence is, and then you could possibly resist if you don't want to suffer
Okay.
this. All right.
So
So,
what's the consequence?
okay. So you search around your direction, and then you are looking around, but I think you are so intent on making sure that there's nothing like in the house, or like, you don't see any signs of life, that you do not notice that um there is something watching you from the trees that are nearby. And I think that what happens is it's like there's something so fast, so blurry that you don't even see what it is, but it shoves you and then it kind of claws at you. So you um, will incur some harm. And then you will, I think, yeah, I think you're gonna be banged into one of the trees, and then you could be concussed. That's how hard that this thing like
Yeah,
comes
I'm
at
okay with that. That sounds fine.
you. Okay, so you would mark harm. Go on.
How do you mark it? Just like an X or something?
Yeah. I think you could just do the checkbox. Oh, sorry.
There's no checkbox for
Oh,
harm,
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was the I get it mixed up with the fear track. I apologize. Okay, yeah. So you would mark the first harm, like say uh
Like the level 1
yeah,
plus 1 fear.
level 1 plus 1 fear, so concussed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead and put concussed there. And then what that means is that you would so any rolls moving forward, you are adding 1 fear to your track. Okay?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Give me a second. And I'm imagining that, you know, even though Jude and Juno have lost track of you two, I'm sure that, you know, they've heard the ruckus coming from where Connor went. Cole, what would you like to do where you are before I come back to Juno and Jude?
I mean, I probably hear like that yelp from the other side of the house, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Uh, I go fuck this, and I just go straight in through the because cutting through the house is quicker than going around it.
You're cutting through the house to get over there.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man, love it. Okay.
Because I mean, I don't even know if that was on the outside of the house, right? Like it came
That's
from
true.
that direction, so I
Yeah.
just like push my way in through. Should we say like a loose door, you know, that's like a side door that's sort of like slightly banging in the faint wind breeze, you know, like just
Hmm.
drifting gently from side to side. And
Oh
I
shit. Oh, making your own troubles. God dang. All right, great. Yeah. I'm just gonna say that, you know, for right now, I'm gonna say that you crash through the door, you know, in your intent to try and just get across the house as quickly as possible to get to where you heard Connor cry out. And you find yourself, it is silent here. The only light that's seen is coming streaming from outside behind you, and you see dust motes. You hear nothing. It's like the sound, whatever was outside, is getting absorbed as you crash into this place. It is dimly lit. You just see maybe outlines of furniture, maybe, but
yeah,
yeah,
and calls out Connor, and like you know,
sound
like
dead.
yeah, yeah,
It's like literally like your Connor drops like a heavy weight.
it's like the house eats the words out of the air. Yeah,
Eats the words out of the air. Exactly. Juno, Jude, you hear Connor's cry from one side, and you hear what sounded like a crash going into the house from the other side of the house. What do you two want to do?
Uh,
Yeah, I
And this is
think
right
I
after Juno discovers what she finds.
yeah, I think Juno will tell Jude like what she found, and I will say we have to find Connor and Cole. Someone else is definitely here and went through all the trouble preparing this creepy stuff. Who knows what they will be up to?
yeah, I think Jude fucking picks up Juno, who has been said to be very tiny, while Jude is very big, and kind of almost holds her like a football under his arm as he like charges into the house because he wants to
Wait,
move as quickly, given the scream, but doesn't want to leave her behind.
wait, you're charging into the house or where Connor went? Because Connor went around
Oh,
the
sorry,
side of the
Connor
house.
went around. Yeah, then yeah, when Connor went. Sorry, I misunderstood. Yeah.
Well, there's two things that happened. Connor screamed, and then like you hear a crash from the other side of the house as if something got, you know, crashed in, probably Cole. You know. So you tell me which direction you're going in.
Uh, Cole crashing seems like less of a concerning thing than Connor screaming.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah,
Yeah.
like Connor. Yeah.
Okay. So Jude picks up Juno. I love it.
yeah.
And
I think Juno has some protests, but she knows it's better than them splitting up. So
yeah. I mean like, and it doesn't have to be like totally undignified. I mean, maybe you're like not the fireman's carry, but maybe like the whole like, you know, baby on the back thing. Who knows? I don't know. But
I don't
I'm gonna
know.
say, I'm gonna,
All Jude knows is his leg span is like 3 times hers.
yeah, it's true. I'm gonna say that like since we're past the hour, we're gonna take our next break,
yeah,
and
yeah,
we're
yeah.
gonna come back to this exciting scene. So yeah, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. What do you guys want? 5?
You, yeah,
5's
That's
fine, yeah.
yeah,
that's good.
works for me.
5 is great. All right, see you in 5.
Yeah.
We're back. Juno and Jude have raced towards Connor's location. Connor, you are down and bleeding. There is no sign of what attacked you. Um, yeah, and that's what you two see when you come upon Connor.
Yeah, I'm just starting to get up.
Oh, dude, like, are you okay? And I like place Juno down, and go over and like immediately like start kind of like assessing. Like, I've played enough sports to be like, okay, where's the bleeding? Like, shove my heel, my fist against it to like put pressure. Like,
Yeah, I feel like he's got like a cut on his head and then whatever hit him in the back. Like, my back's killing me. What's back there? Ah.
And actually, like you feel the pain in your back, and it's kind of like a radiating pain from one particular pressure point. But Jude and Juno, what you end up seeing on Connor's face is, hmm, it's not accidental, but it resembles the carved symbol in the stone of the splayed figure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Juno was like asking, did you see anyone? Did you see who did this?
No, it felt like I got hit by a linebacker though.
not it. Uh, he just like as
And
he's
I
like,
feel like I've been hit by Jude, who was trying to teach him how to play football at one point.
oh yeah, for sure. I tried to be like, come on, like join the like you gotta join the team, and I like absolutely decked your frail ass. Uh,
Yeah,
just
I think Juno is being comically like over serious at this point. She's saying, no, no way, Jude was with me when this happened, so it must be someone else. And also I think judging by like the placement of things in the house, I think there's definitely someone other than the four of us here.
Yeah,
where's
and I don't think I noticed anything on my forehead. Like it's not the most pain, so I'll like pull my shirt up and go, "What is? Oh, it's killing me right here. Is there anything there?"
I'd look at the back.
mm. The radiating dark bruise that you see on Connor's back also has the look of the splayed figure.
The rune
What
or like
is
a
it, man?
splayed figure?
I'm sorry?
So is it like a copy, sorry, of the rune, or does it look like there's like a splayed animal design on his back?
Splayed animal design on his back.
I
And
just dude yanks that shirt back down. Just a bruise, dude, just a bruise.
All right, man. I'll trust you. Oh,
Just a bruise.
it's
I
killing
like
me.
rip off part of my shirt sleeve to just kind of like tie around your head like a bandana against the against where the bleeding is to kind of stop it. Wait, one, two, three, fuck. Where's Cole?
He went around the other side.
Let's go find him, dude. Because like I don't think any of us should be alone right now.
Juno, you remember that you heard a crash as if somebody had gone into the house?
Yeah, yeah. I think I mentioned that. I think like just before Jude and I got here, we heard a crash. I think that's where he is.
He kind of trips all the time. I mean, Cole trips all the time.
Yeah,
Let's kind of like we'll put one of Connor's arms around my shoulder to kind of like have to carry him a bit as we go, since he's a little unsteady.
Mm.
Uh, but can I think as we're doing that, um, can I remind me real quick what are the difference? What's scout and what's scrap?
Scrap is fighting for your life or defending yourself,
Okay, it's,
and Scout is hunting for landmarks and knowing the right way to go.
nope, nothing is going to be useful in here for me. I ain't good at looking around the room. There's no like Jude ain't good for this room. So I think Jude like yeah, just kind of heft lifts and goes to walk out.
Okay, you guys are still outside, and then I'm gonna head back to Cole. Cole, so you are in this place, very dimly lit. You may only see the outline of furniture from the light streaming from the outside. And you said, Connor, and it just went flat, dead, as if sound absorption material was like right in front of your face.
I pull out my lighter,
Okay.
and he didn't need to bring a flashlight. Connor's got that stuff. We weren't supposed to be out like after dark. And I'm gonna fumble my way through this room, trying to push my way into, find my way, like maybe like running a hand down one wall, right? Like
Yeah.
try and work my way through. I'm not sure what role that might be to just sort of navigate this house.
Let's see. um, Scout could be a good one.
Yeah, scout. I'll go scout.
You hunting for landmarks and knowing the right way to go, especially in this dimly lit place. And I'm going to say, as you move your way inside, as you flick on your lighter, there's the slow creak, but it's faster than you can react to it, of the door behind you closing.
Yeah, well, the wind. Must be the
Yeah,
wind. Yeah.
sure, absolutely. Okay, so scouting. Sorry.
And
So
um,
one, and then you points in scout.
I don't have any points in the scout, so it'll just be one.
You want to spin a story? I mean, you can't really get assistance from anybody because they're not sure where you are.
Yeah. Um,
Or push yourself. So push
yeah,
yourself or spin a story.
I'll spin a story. There was he mutters under his breath, this is creepier than the search for the black door, that piece of shit low budget horror film that some students made about the stories in this area, back when that trial of the murderer came out, and how they talked about how it was all, the weird things that he said at his trial, and the reasons that he gave for doing what he did. And this house is even creepier than the ramshackle shed that they used to film it in, back in civilization.
I think, excuse me. You are, yeah, you're rolling with 2d6, please.
6. That's a 6.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So desired action without complications or consequence. Now let me ask you something. Are you trying to go deeper or are you trying to get out?
I'm trying to go deeper, through the house, out to the other side.
Yeah.
And once
Well,
again, Connor.
dead. Like,
Yeah.
like it's almost like you barely said anything. Yeah, it disappears into the darkness. That's one. And then two, you realize as you're like maybe tracing a wall, it goes from feeling like a regular wall, like, excuse me, um, sorry, like a plain painted wall, to feeling like there's like some sort of like patterned wallpaper, even though you can't see anything from your lighter. And then it feels wet. Again, you're flashing your lighter and like you can't see anything, but the touch underneath your fingers is just like getting progressively uncomfortable. And then as you're making your way in, you realize it's like this room is a lot bigger than you thought from the outside. Like now you seem to be going down a hallway, but that doesn't seem to be indicated as a hallway from what you can tell.
Yeah, like maybe I look through, and the hallway seems bigger than the house looked like on the outside.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
It seemed like it was a rectangle, like the horizontal way, but now it looks like you've disoriented, and now it's the other way around, but it's even
Yeah.
further than you thought.
Yeah.
It's very odd.
he peers around back on the way he came, like maybe like slight bits of light creaking through like cracks in the walls and stuff, then peers back at the light that's cracking through the end of the hallway.
Yeah. I
His light
think
at
you
first
hear I think you do hear very slightly, like as if it's from very far away from behind a bunch of blankets. Maybe you hear murmuring as if your companions are somewhere out there, but you
yeah,
can't tell where. You're
uh,
disoriented.
he lights he as he flicks the lighter open again, he fishes that cigarette out of his pocket and he lights it. And now you can just see the glow of the cigarette going through the corridor as he goes.
Yeah. And not only the glow of the cigarette, but I imagine like, as you're blowing out smoke, it's creating this kind of like weird, like misty curtain, as you're going down. And give me half a mo, because I just want to check something. Yeah, I think you lit your cigarette, casually making your way down this hallway, like, maybe your lighter's in front of you and such. And then you create this mist of the blowing out the smoke. I think through this mist, it's almost like it's creating what is the word? The halo effect, where you can like see things almost clearer because it's lighting up more as the smoke is like, distributing motes of light. And you can just make out in front of you, a little further ahead. It looks like there are multiple figures. Looks like. Can't tell quite yet, but I mean, like, it looks like there's multiple figures like down this hall.
Guys, go away. Yeah, like
Right, right. And outside. Okay, so how are you three making your way over to where you thought Connor was? I mean, Cole was. Sorry.
Yeah, I think one thing I would definitely want to do first is I'm going to tell Jude that, okay, so whoever is doing this, they are probably armed, so they can kill the wolf and spade it and like attack Cole while he's. So I think we need to find something that we can use as weapons. So I think I'm going to try to like see if I can scavenge anything that can be used as, I don't know, weapon defense, and maybe not immediately, like maybe, I don't know, pesticide that you can like do do a little work to turn into basically a gas bomb or stuff like that. Anything.
Well, I mean, if you want to use scavenge, no problem. We can build the dice pool and see how well you do. Okay.
Yeah.
So, 1d6. Do you have any points in scavenge?
Yeah, I have 2 points in scavenge.
Okay, so that's up to 3 dice. Do you want to ask for assistance, or do you want to push yourself or spin a story?
Let me see. Let me see. Is there a story that feels like it would fit? Yeah, actually, I think I'm going to talk about a strange cultural tradition in this past that has somehow survived over the years. And I think what I'm going to say is that I'm saying this to Jude, and I like, you know, like here in this part, there's this tradition where people would keep what's something that could use as a weapon, not a side, something impractical. Like I think like that, like how like Christian, like religious people, they will have like cross or something like that in church or maybe in a house. For some reason, like people around here, they put up spear or lenses like in church or their houses, and like eventually those things get adopted into cross and other like Christian like fetish, but it probably has its roots in some pagan worship, like Odin and like all those like war god that eventually get subsumed by Christianity. Anyway, you keep your eyes peeled if there's anything like that around, because we can use that as a weapon, or maybe we can modify it into something we can use.
Okay, dope. Look for store shit.
Is this also asking for assistance from a companion to help?
Yeah. I mean, if he wants to, yeah. But
Yeah, I
I'm
think yeah,
just
no, I think yeah, Jude is happy to scan around for Thor shit.
Okay. For the horseshit, go ahead and gain 1 fear, and then that gives you up to 5 dice, 5d6.
yeah. I'm going to go ahead and roll. Yeah, I got 2 6s again.
Woof. Nice. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you get you find some shit here. Tell me how you. Okay, I'm gonna give you a choice. Because of the 2 6s, you can either find stuff now and gain, like, um, brain. Sorry. Find stuff now and then, apply a bonus for later. Like, like you find, like, cool stuff in the nick of time for later. Or you can, like, find cool stuff now and then, like, something else that you discover to build on this detail.
Yeah, sure. Let's build on this detail.
Okay. So I'm gonna say, all right. So again, you guys are outside. You aren't quite inside yet, because you want to be armed to be dangerous, just in case, like, you run into something or someone. And so, tell me what you get from the outside here. I mean, it could be something from the house. It could be something from the trees. It could be, like a combination of, you know, rocks and shit. Um, and I will tell you how we built on this detail of your.
It, it could be even that there's a shack out back or something like a shed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the shed, strangely enough, has, and they're not like fancy or anything like that. It's more like rudimentary implements to be able to build from this. So maybe there's like staves, yeah, that you
Is there
can.
like
Go ahead.
an old timey scythe to cut like grain?
Yeah, rusted, but yeah,
Or
and not.
maybe one of those harvest sickles,
Yeah.
one of the curved ones.
Mm-hmm. Okay, no problem. Uh,
I am wherever you need me to be in a horror movie. So,
yeah. No
yeah,
problem.
be right
Go
back.
for it. Yeah, and yeah, so you're able to arm yourselves with this. Um, but I'm gonna say that when you find these different things, I'm gonna say that they look like the staves themselves, like towards the bottom, they have the runes that you saw on the initial stones back at your original campsite. So not necessarily the splayed figures, but I mean, like, whatever different rune that you found, rune or runes.
But is this just like similar stone, or are we saying they are the exact same stone? Like they are being transported here in like an extremely short amount of time?
No, I mean, like, well, the stones that you found had the carved stone etchings of like the splayed wolf or the splayed person or both, like, on them. The initial stones that you found like had other different runes or symbols on them, and these are weapons of sorts or implements that have those other runes on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Jude, grabs a couple of the weapony things. But I think he's also gonna kind of look around and see if there's anything interesting. Kind of like he's following, like maybe following the markings or like seeing if like when you come in, what is clearly what gets utilized, like what it has anything actually been something that's touched regularly, or has this all just been like abandoned?
Mm-mm-mm. Do you want to do a study? Or not the studies, actually more fitting.
Yeah, I think yeah, it's study.
Okay, so 1d6 already. Do you have any points in study?
No.
Okay. You can either get assistance from a companion, and they say how they help and gain 1 fear, and or you can push yourself, say how you exert and gain 2 fear, or spin a story for those bonus dice.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to help because I haven't been able to help anyone and spend the fear yet, so I might
Okay.
as well. And
Okay.
besides, we are both in the same place, like
Yeah.
doing basically the same thing.
Sure. Okay. And then, do you want to push yourself or spin a story, Jude?
I'm so tough because I, as a player, I want to spin a story because I like telling stories, but at the same time, I want to like plug into this fear mechanic a little more.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm gonna hit the fear track a bit.
Okay. All right. So push yourself, gain 2 fear. How do you like really like push yourself? And
I
it could
think
mentally, physically.
I think it's sort of like mental, like it's a bit of both. He's like mentally like really fucking trying to think and put his mind and like looking for like the small details. Like he's trying to be like, okay, like remember, like when coach has you remember plays, like all the small things mean a lot. It's not just like the throw, you know. And I think he's like not necessarily paying attention as like as well as like his, some like sides of his sleeves get kind of like nicked and cut up a little as he's like moving through places that either have like, sharp implements or like jutting pieces of wood or things like that.
Mhm. Okay. Cool. So you got 3d6.
Yep, yep, yep.
Highest result.
4.
4. Okay. So with a 4, you do it with consequence. You suffer harm and a major complication, or you can resist. So I'm going to tell you what the consequence is first, and then you can tell me if you want to resist or roll with it, okay? So in like moving things around and trying to find something that's specifically been used recently to find it's like, okay, like, there's got to be something here. I think you nick yourself on one of these weapons, and your complication is that when you get nicked with this thing, I mean, however it is, like whether by the arm, like in your arm, or like maybe like accidentally like getting nicked on your face, something, you will see, or your companions will see, that it starts to splay out as if it's one of those splayed symbols again. And you will essentially be marked. You know that this is a mark of this thing that's hunting you. And
And what does
you also have one of these things, that you also have one of the stones in your pocket, don't you?
yeah, I do have a stone in my pocket.
Yeah.
Uh what
So,
does resisting look like? Like what does that mean?
okay. So when a character suffers a consequence they don't like, you can choose to resist. It's automatic and always works, and then the consequence is either reduced or avoided. So, resistance roll is essentially seeing how much fear your character suffers as it's trying to avoid this consequence. Okay?
It's another roll.
It's another roll, yes. So basically, like, doing a resistance roll, let's see, it depends on which thing you're using. Give me a second. So let's see, consequences from physical strain or injury, consequences from mental strain or willpower, consequences from overextending yourself or misfortune. Um, you're not really straining yourself because you're a brute. It's great. I'm gonna say luck. Luck is here. So let's see. Sorry, I don't get to use the to call upon the resist roll all that often, so I want to make sure like we're doing it right.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I want to like see about all the mechanics, so, but it's all good.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Complications and harm, fear. Come on, I knew it was here. Of course. There we go. Resistance roll. Okay. Resistance roll to see how much fear your character suffers. Guide chooses the attribute. Do you have any points in luck? Let's put it that way.
I have 2 scrap points.
Great. Okay. So basically, you're going to be rolling your. You're going to be rolling. Yeah, you're just going to be rolling like 2 die. All right. I love how the like Mac is like automatically doing weird stuff. All right. So you're gonna roll 2 die, and then we'll see what your highest die roll is. Okay.
All right. Yeah.
To resist.
5.
Great. So resistance roll sees how much fear your character suffers. So you are taking 5 from 6 fear. So you will basically suffer 1 fear to your box. So
Okay.
yeah, and you won't. Let me see. Consequence reduced or avoided. I think you avoid the harm, but the complication is that you hear from outside, or hold on, let me think. Yeah, I think as you're touching one of these weapons that has the splayed figure on it, you get a vision as if you are seeing through something's eyes. And your vision, it's got kind of like got those weird edges to it, like kind of jagged or shining light and such. You're actually seeing through something's eyes, and you're seeing Jude. I mean, not Jude. Sorry, you're seeing Cole ahead of you. Like you can see the like Cole's wavering lighter light. You can see like the smoke coming from his cigarette, and you're behind him, seeing through this thing's eyes.
I think without hesitation, immediately I grab this spear and I am running, like far faster than the other 2 can probably keep up. And like trying to be like, okay, this looks like the inside of a house. I need to get into the house, like trying to be like, and he's just like, Cole, Cole, Cole.
Yep. All right, so you two, Juno and Connor, you see Jude like just pick up one of these spear scythe thingies and just run like a madman to the house
And his
and
face
crashes
is
through one of the windows.
like
Yeah.
shocked.
I had something I wanted Connor to do. I was just kind of waiting for them to
Okay.
do
Yeah.
this.
No problem.
Connor's not actually there.
Oh.
When they were going into the shed,
Uh-huh.
Connor thought he heard somebody calling his name,
Ooh.
and it sounded like his dad's voice, and it freaked him out.
Oh
So he
gosh.
kind of went a little further behind the house, and he saw an old cellar that was partially open, the door, and he was like, "Well, I'm gonna look." And he thought he could hear the voice coming from within, but in his befuddled state, he thought that'd be a good place to look for something to get a weapon to. So he was kind of scavenging around down in the basement.
Jude thinks Connor's right behind him with Juno, so in his frantic state, his eyes wide, looking kind of almost wild and spooked, he runs, leaving Juno alone.
Oh God. Oh God. Okay, so I'm gonna say the camera sees the injury or the scratch, the scar on Connor's head like glow a little bit, looking like the splayed figure rune, and then Juno, you just see Jude tearing down, or excuse me, Yeah, actually, like, tearing down that same door that Connor had gone through that you didn't even see. You were so intent upon, like, checking out this shed. And so, and then Connor, you hear, I mean, Cole, you hear what sounds like distant breathing behind you. It's not quite close, but you hear something behind you breathing fast. Okay? I'm going to say, like, at this point, it's like you guys are very close to overcoming the whole strange symbol thingy. So I'm activating the end of Act 2. In fact, basically, Connor, you just, like, ended with the twist. So I'm going to say that you guys can advance. So add +1 to 2 of your actions, or +2 to 1 action. So basically a total of 2 points. Just add them anywhere to your list of things that you can do. And add 1 more special ability for advancement. Okay? So 2 points to actions and then a special ability.
Remind me real quick,
Mhm.
what is still?
Still, sorry. Do your best to remain quiet and unnoticed.
Oh, boo, that sounds boring. And risk?
Is the chance to take a chance, sorry, or do something foolhardy or desperate. And scrap, as a reminder, is to fight for your life or defend yourself. Okay?
And we pick a special.
And a special ability, yes, yes. Ba-ba-bum. Okay, let me just pull on something here. Where is it?
I have a question.
Yes.
When
While
does
I'm
the
looking around for
trauma
my thing.
question?
I'm sorry?
When does the trauma question come up?
Trauma questions come up when you completely fill your fear track.
Okay.
Yeah, you build up a lot of fear, and then, like, you hit a trauma response.
Okay.
Yeah. When a character marks their last fear box, they suffer a level of trauma. When you take trauma, you circle one of those trauma conditions that's listed on your playbook, and then you're out of that particular scene because you might be left for dead, you fail to get away with the others, or maybe you're just kind of like gasping in a corner, like curled up in a ball. Who knows, right? Because, like, you're experiencing a trauma response. You
Okay.
do come back in the next scene, and you clear
Oh,
all of your fear and stress. Um,
oh.
and then that's when the next scene is when I would ask you a trauma question from your sheet. Yeah.
So you ask the trauma question, we don't pick it, or
Let me see. Trauma question. Yeah, there's a question that I have listed for as being the guide. Um, and yeah, it's interesting.
okay, cool. I wasn't sure because there's
Oh yeah, no. I mean, maybe I'm horrible because it's like I do slow burn stuff, like, when it comes to
You're
fear.
fine. Don't you're not terrible or anything like that. I'm just trying to learn the game.
No, I hear you. I hear you. I mean, like, I'm sure some people would pile on, like, the fear, like, nobody's business. But you guys have also been rolling pretty damn well.
We
So
have been rolling very well.
if you flubbed every single roll up to this point, there'd be a lot of fear right now.
I have been
Um,
praying for ones every time I roll the dice. But
I know, right? It's like, I want to experience this. Oh my gosh, it's great. All right, hold on. I cannot find for the life of me, like, the plot twist questions, and it's killing
So
me.
there's a drop down menu under trauma on our character keeper.
Oh, okay.
So I
Wow,
wasn't
did
sure
I
if we
prepare?
pick. That's why I was curious if we pick that because it's on our thing, or if you pick it.
Let me see. Boop, boop, boop. I mean, did I prepare for this? I have no idea. It's been a while since I've actually created this thing. Um, Trauma question. Yes, because basically, like, what I wanted you guys to do was, like, I guess I would pick from one of those questions, and then, like, you would answer it
Yeah.
underneath.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, But this way, like, it would be all there, so this way I didn't have to worry about, like, oh my god, where is it? Like
Yeah.
this, like looking for like the plot twist because I'm a dork. Oh, here we go. Duh. Here's the plot twist questions. Duh. Okay. So, hmm. Yeah. I think, Connor, I think as you make your way into the basement thinking that you hear the basement to think that you are hearing your father's voice. Oh man. I'm gonna maneuver these questions to kind of fit the twist. What obscene thing has been done to the ground as you make your way down into the basement around this? Like as you make your way through the basement, what obscene thing has been done to the ground?
Hmm. I think it's earthen,
Okay.
and as I'm walking, it's squishing beneath my feet, and you're seeing little puddles of a darkish, almost blackish substance. Could be blood, could be something else coming up. And like when my foot, picks up, you kind of see it like pool in the footprint a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I'm gonna ask a question for each of you. Again, maneuvering this for plot twist. Um, Juno, what piece do you see out here, like, as you're left on your lonesome, that you can see now, looking clearly, is corrupted outside of the house?
A piece? Do you mean a place
Yeah,
or?
yeah. Like, I mean, like, like what do you see of the natural landscape around here, like, towards the house or leading into the house? Do you see corrupted?
Yeah, I think like outside there is like I think outside there's a grass field, right? Maybe
Hmm.
like a forest with like some, and maybe not a forest, like a bush, like with some slow bushy and sparing trees. But I think somewhere in the middle of that there is like a barren white tree. So like there's like grass and bushes all around it, but somehow just for that one tree, like the ground is like white and barren, and the tree is completely dead, and it almost look like kind of bony and like carcass like.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Okay. And then Juno, I think, no, sorry, Jude, as you brush in to almost follow Connor, but you don't realize Connor's ahead of you. What do you see here that shows that this hunter, this thing that's been hunting you, comes here frequently?
Who's here free? I think I see like a nest kind of a thing. Like it's like all the pillows and blankets and sheets and things like that, and even some like t-shirts have been pulled uh into like this sort of big, sort of nestled pile where it looks like there's like the sort of almost indent. And I think I noticed that I was missing a shirt after our first night here. And I thought like, oh, maybe I just like put it down somewhere or something. And I think I see my missing shirt inside this pile.
Nice. And Cole, as you make your way down this hall, you're hearing the sounds, but like, you're smoking away and wave your lighter. You see here those figures that you were seeing. They look in this dim light like effigies of some sort in the splayed position that the wolf was in. The red string is here. What else do you see here as offerings? There's 5 of these effigies, by the way.
Yeah, 5 of these effigies. You see 5 eggs of different sizes laid out in front of each of these effigies, and each of them has I'm gonna say that like they have open, like something's hatched from them, but like what looks like this hatched from them is that like like vines have grown up through the floorboards and cracked their way up through the bottom of the egg, and then blossomed out of the top of the eggshells, cracking them open. And Cole's just like cigarette hanging, like, what the fuck?
Now, are the eggs completely hatched, or like the vines are just coming through them and branching out?
I think it looks like the eggshells themselves look like they've been hatched, and then like through that hole is the vines coming through. It's like
Got it.
tendrils
Okay.
sticking out.
Okay. All right. We're nearing time, so I'm going to go ahead and start Act 3. We're just gonna do this, like, all as a row, and then like we'll see how far we get, like in the next 15 minutes. Boy howdy. And then we're going to, like, see about epilogues and then stars and wishes and such. But all right. So my myth point spend is, Cole, you were looking at these things. Each of these eggs have the vines cracked through the hatched shells, and you hear different screams of different sights as you are looking at these effigies. Through the smoke, through the dim light, like, you realize that there's different heads on these figures. Like they're bowed, even as they are splayed with the red string. I want each of you to mention, like, what head is on an effigy and what scream you hear. Like, all of you can hear a scream of some sort. So, Connor, what head is on one of these effigies? What animal or something head is on one of these effigies? And what scream do you hear?
It's actually my mom's face, and I hear her scream just like I remembered hearing it in the real world when I was a kid.
Okay. Jude?
Yeah, I think it's sorry, choices. I think it's the head of an eagle. And I think no, not an eagle. You know what? It's like a kestrel. And I think that's like resounding because I think our college sports teams is the kestrel. And I hear a scream, and I can't tell if it's a scream of pain or ecstasy.
Cole?
It's a wolf's head, and it howls, and it sounds hungry.
Juno?
It's Carrie.
Ooh.
And instead of a scream, it actually sounds like like a bell for like the exam or for like end of class, but it's like super high pitch and like high frequency, so it sounds like a screech of, like, I don't know, a fire alarm or something more urgent. But when you listen to it, it's really like school bell sped up, and Yeah.
And I'm gonna say the fifth head is of a snake. And it's not necessarily obviously a hiss or anything like that. It's not that obvious. It's more of a kind of scream. And yeah, Cole, you're right there and hearing this. I mean, like it's visceral. You're like your bones are thudding with it, are thrumming with it. And then Jude and Connor, you're down here and you hear only the specific screams that you hear, the kestrel and your mom's scream. Juno, you're outside and you're hearing this alarm bell. Like, what? You know, it sounds familiar, but yet also frightening for some reason. And underneath all of that is the scream of that strange snake creature. Juno, do you make your way into the house, or what are you doing?
Yeah, is like the sequel and stuff that Jude took the only thing we
Oh no.
found in the shed?
Oh no, there's other weapons here. I mean, like more rusted than the stuff that Jude took. Um, if anything, like again, the stuff that you're finding here are of the other runes, not the splayed figure runes, like the other runes that were initially on the stones that you found near your campsite.
Okay, so are there gasoline and glass bottles?
Do you want there to be gasoline glass bottles? It's like, you,
Yeah,
you get the benefit for being here, sure.
yeah, because I want to like just make a few Molotov before like maybe half a dozen, and then I'm going to like follow, like try to find the others.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I think yeah.
Somebody's planning on being final girl.
Of course, somebody's got to do it, and especially in the interest of time, for sure. So yeah, you cobble together like what you find here, in this shed, and you're able to make whatever you need to make to bring it in. Yeah, I think you find your way down the same door that the other two have. Squishing underneath your feet is like this puddly surface, um, and then yeah, you hear these cries like as you get closer, Juno. I think you're hearing the more distinct cries like underneath the bell, underneath the scream screech, like all these other things that are causing a cacophony. Connor, Jude, you as well. I mean, Connor, I think you burst into this same room that Cole is finding himself. I mean, Cole, I mean, like, since you're feeling this, what is your reaction? Like, are you
I mean, I think like, and then
hmm
spinning around, staring,
Yeah,
and then when he sees Kerry's face, like
yeah.
he's gonna stagger backwards,
You're gonna bump
and
into Connor.
bump
Yeah.
into Connor, uh, and just go, "What the fuck, man? The fuck is this?
Did you did you hear a woman screaming?
Can you hear them?
It's my mom. It's my mom screaming, dude.
We gotta get out of here, man!" And I'm just gonna grab his hand and try and pull him, like,
Yeah, and Connor's trying to go toward the scream.
Yeah, because I
yeah.
think, you do see, like, again, dimly lit somehow, the five effigies that are in front of where Connor was. Like, you see them
Um,
there.
Given that we're in, Act Three
Yeah,
and the thing,
yeah.
can I suggest that that's when the five figures move?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yep, for sure. I think as they start to move, this is when Jude bursts in with the two weapons that he cadged from the shed. Jude, you hear this. I mean, like, as you get closer, you all are in the midst of this particular chamber, and these screams are moving through your bones and chilling your blood. Jude, what do you do? And you see the effigies moving behind Cole and Connor as they're like there or trying to get away or just stock still, whatever they're doing. Like, what do you do?
Yeah, I think Jude's immediate thought is protecting them and like kind of holding strong. And so I think he kind of like moves himself so that he's kind of between any like moving figures and the other two.
Okay. All right. So just in the interest of time and to get everybody in the same room, I think Juno, you're pounding down, you're hearing the slaps of this disgusting stuff underneath your feet. Things are splashing on your legs and then even on your face and arms as you're trying to make your way. You hear the others, they're like, calling out or in distress, and these screams as you get closer again are within your bones, your blood, and chilling you down to the bone. And then you see the other three. Maybe Cole is still waving his lighter, like, desperately, but you see the effigies. They are moving towards you four. Like they're trying to form like a pincer movement, like they're starting in a half circle and they're coming round to try to surround you all. What do you all like? What do you all do? I mean, again, I'll take an action, and yeah, we'll go from there.
So
Cole's gonna dive like and shove Connor away because I'm imagining Connor like reaching towards like the voice of the scream of his mother, right? Like as these figures come,
Yeah.
and Cole's going to just like no, and like push, like try and shove him like out of the way, and essentially put himself in that position instead, as like these grasping hands of dangling a red string around them
Oh my
towards
gosh.
it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when I put myself in harm's way to protect a friend, I take plus 1d to my roll.
Okay.
I think this is risk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's 3 dice.
Yep. At the very least.
Yeah.
Do you want to push
I'll give
yourself
you.
to spin a story? Oh, assistance. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes
Yeah, I
sense.
think I'm holding one of the two weapons you said. I immediately just like give one to Cole or like
Okay.
toss it to Cole, and I'm also like readied up on the front line, so to speak.
Okay. So then that's 4, and then spin a story or push yourself.
No, I'll just roll 4.
Okay, 4. 4D.
That's 4. It's the highest dice.
Ah! Oh boy. Okay. So I think, yeah, I mean, as these things are reaching for you and you're trying to get in the way of Connor's mom, who's reaching for him with this, to him, stricken look of like, help me, help me. But you see this horrible visage. It looks like a woman. I mean, like, but the mouth is all distended. The eyes are all googly and weird and wide.
Vines going up over the face.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
yeah,
Vines are like, reaching through and over her face. You're basically, when you get the clasp of this creature, it starts to move very vine-like around your neck, and you start feeling choked out from this. Are you?
And what if the red strings are actually red vines?
Yeah.
Ooh,
There you
yeah.
go. Yeah, absolutely. So you feel the creepingness of it, not only around your neck, but also like trying to dig into you.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you taking this, or are you going to
But we're,
blank
we're,
or
we're, we're very
assist?
close to the end. I'm going to take it. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, Connor, what are you doing? Like, as you see this happening to your friend, like who has put himself in harm's way for you?
I think I'm just rushing forward and trying to rip these red vines away from his throat with my bare hands, just willing to shred my hands to do it.
Okay. All right. So scrap.
Mom, no. As you run forward.
Mom, no.
That's my friend.
Oh my God. Scrap. Scrap. Okay. Yeah, Colt. I don't know if if I don't know, Cole, if you've reacted where you've like dropped the weapon because you're trying to prevent these things from trying to choke you out.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So the weapon is dropped. I don't know if like
Yeah,
if Connor you're even
maybe
paying
I'm
attention.
trying to do it with my hands and I
Yeah.
can't get to it, and then I grab the weapon and just start hacking at it.
All right. So 1d6, and then do you have anything in scrap?
I've got 2 in scrap.
Okay, 3 dice, and then your assistance from the companion for the weapon, so 4 dice. And you want to push yourself or spin a story to get that last bonus.
Yeah, I'll push myself.
Okay, so you get 2 fear for that. 5 dice, please.
5.
5. You can either hesitate and come up with a different approach, or you do it anyway with minor consequence. So
Do it
I'm
with
gonna.
consequences.
All right, consequences. Like, you're trying to do this with the weapon, and I think the vines are trying to take it away from you. And then as you are experiencing like the like it's cutting, it's screaming. You see your mom's face, like, turning towards you in a very unnatural angle and just like screaming, "What are you doing? Help me, help me, help me." Like the vines that are trying to take the weapon away from you are digging in and burning into your skin.
Okay. Can I add
Jude,
one little detail real quick?
go ahead.
I just see a quick flashback to when he was a kid and he saw his dad killing his mom. His dad was a serial killer, and he's just imagining himself grabbing that knife, his dad's knife, and stabbing him in the back just like he did as a kid.
Then that's the scene we see as we flip over to Jude. Jude, what are you doing?
Uh,
These other effigies are coming round you all. I mean, like, they're only dealing with one. You got like the other four.
yeah, I think Jude is gonna be like, uh, you don't want them. I'm the one you want, like, and kind of like putting himself out there as like this big, strong, like protector sort of a vibe. And like holds the weapon, but he holds it in the way that he saw like the creature behind Cole do it. Like almost trying to mimic a movement of theirs.
Okay. Uh Defend, risk. I mean, I'll take either one. Whatever you got points in. I mean, like, use them now.
I mean, I think I've got dose in most of those. I got dose and risk, scrap, and hold. So
Yeah, I mean, so well, hold would work too. I mean, like, stand firm and maintain resolve. So if you want to use
yeah,
that, okay. So 1d6 plus whatever points that you have, a d6 for every point that you have in hold. Is
yes,
that
and then
3?
also I have if you don't see me again when you throw yourself into harm's way to protect your friends, take another d6.
So that's 4.
It's
Um,
4.
any assistance from anyone?
This feels like a pretty solitary action.
That's fine. Okay, so 4, and then do you push yourself or do you spin a story? If you push yourself, you gain 2 fear.
I'm gonna spin a story.
So that's 5. Okay, what's your story?
I think his story is that this is not the first time he has heard these screams before. I think years ago when he was a freshman, he had come out to these woods, uh, and it was like a hazing ritual for the football team, and he'd gotten lost, and he'd heard those screams, and he went like towards them, thinking someone was in trouble, only to find one of those rocks. And he'd accidentally like nicked his thumb picking it up and bled into the stone. And he ended up holding it, and we get like a quick vision of that stone is actually in the bottom of his backpack right now, in addition to the one in his pocket. And he never wanted to hear the sound again because he'd heard it that one time in the dead of night, and his first thought was, if I hear it, I can't stop myself from going to it again.
Indeed.
Okay,
5d6, please.
5d6. Well, that first roll was a 6, so I think I don't think I need to roll the other 5.
Okay. Alrighty. So, desired action, complications or consequences. You stand firm and maintain resolve. But are you calling to these effigies and saying, "Take me still"?
Almost less of a take me and more I'm here, look at
Ah,
me,
got it.
as he brandishes the weapon in like almost a similar manner.
Okay. And Juno, what are you doing? You see Jude holding the line essentially, and Cole has collapsed from being like nearly choked out, and Connor might be looking at his arms or hands as they're burning from the red vines.
Yeah, so I still think this is kind of, I don't know, a cheap parlor trick, or like, so I think I'm like walking to stand beside Jude, and I'm like starting to light the Molotov and throwing them at the effigy. So
Okay.
basically, what I'm doing is like I'm baiting the hook. So when you doubt the threat is real and willingly put yourself in harm's way or attract attention, you succeed on a 5 or 6. But if you fail, you take an additional fear.
Okay.
So what I'm doing here is I'm obviously either taking a risk or scrap. So I just took 1 point in each, so I get at least 2 dice.
Yes.
And
I mean, I'm gonna say you're assisted because, like, Jude's right there, like holding the line and stuff to try to keep them away from you, and then so that's 3, and then I mean, Jude, if you want more fear, don't like totally, because I think that's well in hand. And
Yeah,
then
I'll take a fear. Go for it.
Juno, do you want to push yourself or spin a story for that last d6?
yeah, sure, I'm going to push myself because I haven't been doing that
Okay.
so much. Okay, so
Alrighty, and then so basically you're just trying to get away, like kind of like maneuver around, so you're not getting caught by these vines and these effigies. You gain 2 fear for that, so you roll 4 dice.
yeah. Yeah, I got 5, so that's a success because I'm baiting the hook.
Okay, and then so tell me what happens. Tell me what you do.
Yeah, I think I'm just like throwing the Molotov at the FG, and like I think like they are lighting on fire. And I
Hmm.
think like when I hit the one with Carrie's face, I think we see a flashback. I think it's not as serious and intense as the other one, but I think there was this scene where like they are at like Carrie and Juno at the dormitory or cafeteria or something, and Carrie was like, "Come on, you have to believe me. No way, there's no way I will cheat." And like, but Juno was like, I don't know. I mean, if you didn't cheat, I'm sure the school board will like, well, they wouldn't say you did if you didn't. And then like basically like Carrie is trying to appeal to Juno, like, come on, we know each other for so long, I wouldn't cheat. Can you like, all the teachers like you, can you like talk to them for me? But Juno is like, but if they made a decision, that's because they think it's best, and it's not my place to, let kind of soft blocking her. And I think that was pretty soon before like Carrie's suicide. So like she doesn't know if it has any direct connection to like Carrie's final decision, but that does, like, it haunts her, less interaction basically.
I think as you throw the Molotov and then you see the effigies catch on fire, it's like you see Carrie's face on this effigy right in front of you very clearly, and her eyes are pleading with you. Don't help me. Help me. And the flames go up. And I'm going to say that that is where we end the movie. as it fades with the fires going up, and we see flames licking the house, um, with no
Uh,
indication of like, have you guys gotten out or not. So to fully end this, it's like I want to know, like, do we see any epilogues, do we see any stinger post credit type stuff from each of you? You let me know. What do you think?
um, I think that the epilogue is of Cole's dorm room, um, and like the RA, sort of like on the phone, like, no, I'm really worried. I haven't seen him in days. And stood outside the door, and then the door sort of like slowly swings open behind him, and he turns, uh, and just like suspended up on the wall, there is just like what looks like another, vaguely indistinct human shape, like suspended from the wall above the bed. The red string and the phone just drops out of his hands as it cuts away.
Credits roll. Next.
Yeah. If I can go, I think we see like this is probably like right before or after graduate. I think like we see Juno like is in a seat before like it's obviously some professor's office, but it's not our college. I think there's this like old like middle to like graying old gentleman. He's holding like her file and say, I must admit, Miss Stargazer, I'm surprised a woman of your distinguished academic career would want to study under me. And then like I think we hear like Juno say, um, Dr. Pimes, let's just say like some personal life experience has led me to believe this is the best way for me to contribute my academic talent for the good of mankind. And like Pines, Dr. Pines like reach out like a sick hand and shake her and say, please call me Stanford. And then I think that's where like the credits roll.
Stanford Pines, you're killing me, Helva. God dang it.
No, I feel like there's a reference here.
Yeah, there's a reference. I'll explain later. Go ahead. Anybody else for post credit scenes? Credits roll, credit crawl, montage music, or whatever the hell.
Go for it, Roy. I'll go.
Okay. We see Connor in his hoodie, um, opening up like a door to an old warehouse or something. Kind of in a different city than he started out in. And he closes the door behind him, and he's carrying like a leather kit under his arm. And he walks over to a table, and you can see a woman tied to a table behind him, squirming. And as he walks past her, he lays this leather thing down, rolls it out, and it's all of these knives. And you're seeing as he looks up on the wall in front of him, there is a newspaper clipping that says, "Is the Bayside Butcher back?" And he reaches down and pulls out a knife and runs his thumb along it, and then you see red vines come out from his sleeve and wrap around the handle of the knife with his hand.
Credits keep rolling. Song keeps going. Maybe the list of the music now going from the movie.
Yeah. I think we see Jude. And at first it looks like a really normal scene. He's like, it's very like zoomed in. We see he's got like some time has definitely passed. He's got like a bit of a scraggly scruff against his face. He's sipping from like a mug of like coffee, and we see like there's like a press canister next to him. And then we see him get up and it spans, and we realize he's in the house. And that he like goes around the house, kind of patching the vines in certain places and keeping it maintained. And he like talks as if there's someone else there, but we like can't fully see that person in the camera. And we see like he's got the sort of like spear strapped to his back, and we see him looking at a camera, a digital camera he had forlornly, which has the picture of like the four of them. And he's reminiscing because he made an offer, and he'll stay here and he'll steward this house, to make sure it doesn't go for anyone else. He can't do anything, he worries for a moment about what will happen if he gets older and he dies and no one else is here, to make sure the house doesn't go for someone else. But then he kind of decides to stop thinking about that because it's not going to get him anywhere.
And the last discordant sounds of the last song of the soundtrack roll out, the end credits, and a thump as the movie ends. Congratulations! Yay! Made it through the Hunted. Somehow. In some ways.
Made it might be stretching it.
I know. That's what I mean. So again,
Yeah.
as Helba had posted in the chat, it's Gravity Falls is Stanford Pines. So it's a great show, nice and weird. I mean, I love it. I mean, it's like, I feel like I'm Mabel most of the time. So yeah, absolutely. Anyway, so yeah, Stars and Wishes. Oh my God, this was great. I hope you guys had a great time. I did. And stars are things that you loved about the game, gameplay, role play each other, and wishes. I mean, like if you decide to play this yourselves, like, at another point, like, would you take another playbook? Would you want to do something different? That sort of thing. Yeah. Whomever wants to go.
So if I can start, obviously I like all the characters. I think we have like a unique, like each one brings a unique twist to the playbook, and we have some interesting dynamic. Because one shot we didn't get to dive too deep into that. So a wish is if this game is longer, we will be able to do that. And I think I do like the story, like being a story mechanic and how it gets used. Like we keep adding like sometimes it's like immediately relevant to what we are doing, and sometimes it's like more distant building up what's going on. And I think that's really interesting, and also it's used in an interesting way. So yeah, I think that's the big thing. I wouldn't mind seeing this game for a little longer, like maybe a 2 or 3 session game, so like we can actually see like fear being filled out, and like story runs out and stuff like that. Because in a really short game like this, sometimes you just get a string of really good or really bad roll, and let school the feeling of the game, when in a longer game they tend to normalize. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll go next if you guys don't mind.
Yeah.
Loved the way you played Cole, Will. Enjoyed playing off of you and seeing you rush headlong into danger, and that was all fun and very thematic. Wishes, first of all, thank you all for playing. It was amazing. Wish I get a chance to play with all of you again. And I also agree that I'd like to see a couple sessions. I think that's where a full story would play out. This felt a little too cramped, but yeah, I think the game would really open up at that point and allow all those little cool details to come out. And it's a great game. I'll definitely probably end up buying this and playing it again in the future.
Yeah, I thank you for playing off the characters. I obviously, in every horror game, I'm always like, one of us has to put on the don't go into the dark place on your own hat and do all of that, right? And yeah, I mechanically, I think the one thing is that it's probably the most generous Forest in the Dark game I've played because you always get one die, even if you've got nothing in ratings, rather than doing the usual roll with disadvantage. And I think I'd probably introduce that because it would offer more consequences and escalations and stuff like that, and help you push those fear tracks up higher and higher. Like playing it, I was like, I'm not sure how we could ever really fill our fear track up entirely. Like unless we just, I don't know, like even if we pushed everything, we would never get there. Like it would feel like you were rolling nonstop to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I really enjoyed all of the creepiness and it building up, and it was it was a slow burn, which I enjoyed like massively. I think that like the system and a lot of what it's trying to do probably comes into its own once you've got the hunting, the hunter, like more like in frame and the active threat after them. But I definitely enjoyed all the stuff going up to it. Like there's no problem. Yeah, so I guess that would be mine. Would be either for us to have just failed more often, which is the luck of the die, and make it worse for ourselves, or yeah. And I also think that maybe like I wonder about now that I've played it once. I think I would maybe like move some of those starting questions to be like, because we're trying to define it because we don't have anything defined as we go on, right?
Right.
But maybe
You're
like
building it up as you go. Yeah.
yeah, but maybe like there's some sort of balance that could be struck there between like ambiguous questions that you could then revisit as the nature of things get, like because we had like our Michael, right, defined as
Yeah.
our the thing, and actually like once we'd introduced Kerry, that was a better hook for what we were
Yeah.
doing and meshed us all together, and we could have reframed that question to be more about Kerry, for example, or
Yeah.
as we were going forwards, other aspects of it. But I'm not quite sure how you do that. But anyway, I really enjoyed it, and thank you very much, Mads. Thank you very much for playing, guys. And I will have to get quietus on the calendar so you can play it, Mads. So
Yeah, no, I would love to. I would love to. I mean, I will say that having run this, excuse me, several times. In fact, this was the game that I had run once before, and then I was like bringing it to the GFC camp that I attended because I was like, I don't know if I could do this, like squish it in as a one shot, yada yada. And we still came up with a great story. And I will say, like, everything that you guys are saying is quite true. It feels like when would you ever fill up the fear track? I mean, like it just seems like so much that you'd have to build up unless and maybe this is how people play, like certain people would play with a bunch of rolls, even with concrete goal and consequence for failure, they're like rolling on everything, and so therefore they're able to build up the fear like really quickly. I mean, that's a possibility too, regardless of like how well or how badly you roll. So I can see where, especially if you do it like a slow burn like I do, I mean, like I can see this as being like a 2-shot or even like maybe a 3-shot or something like that to kind of stretch out the story, and then like say you do the act 1 build up questionnaire, and then like anything that's in that goes into a very slow act 2 that could be carried over into an episode or two, and then bam, act 3, that is the end, your climax, your oh my god, like people are running around like chickens with their heads cut off. Yeah, absolutely, I can totally see that. I just never played it like that because I mean, he says it's like this can be done in like in a couple of hours. I kills me when they do this. Like
Yeah, no.
how do you do this
Yeah.
in a few hours? What?
I'll
Really?
I'll ask Chris to do a demonstration of it because
Oh, yeah.
he's
Well, I mean,
Manchester based, so like I see him sometimes at gaming
okay.
conventions. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, like I like I'll like shout it out somewhere on the when I post this, and I'll be like, Chris, it's like I belong to the Loot the Room Discord. I'll be like, Chris, just so you know, like I've run this a couple of times. This is how we're feeling right now. But yeah, I love the characters. My God, you guys did such a great job. Establishing relationships, and then just like running with what you mentioned to each other, as well as like some of the backstory, like with the Carrie. I mean, especially with Carrie, holy crap. I mean, like when you did that, Helba, I was just like, oh no, oh my god, that killed my heart. And then like Connor, Roy, you coming out with the thing about your mom, I'm like, and your dad, I'm like, oh shit, that could have been in like a little episode on its own. Like we and I think this is where it works because I do a lot of episodic stuff. So I mean, like, where Act Two is stretched out over a couple of episodes, and this is where we get to see, like, your own flashbacks, your own, like, talking to each other and discussing things that happened in your past, and we could develop that more with the Resilient. We could see, like, how the Jock is reacting to things. We could see how the Skeptic, turned out the way they did, and, like, the Outsider. It's like, how outside does he really feel? Who knows? This is where we find out. So I can totally see this being as more of a episodic thing, but with the way
Almost
it's
like an American Horror Story
yes, but I mean,
season.
but right, but with the way it's built, it's just like it's supposed to be like, you're pretty much running downhill. Like as soon as you start hitting Act Two, you're in media race for sure. But yeah,
Yeah, I think I'll do. Are you good, Matt? Sorry.
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna do my stars and wishes. Yes. So absolutely, star to Helba for, as mentioned, that soul crushing scene where Juno was like, I don't think the school got it wrong, and then like just like the day before. And I appreciate the sort of weird antagonism, but also like clearly deep-hearted friendship that was going on between Cole and Connor. Clearly they like both couldn't, like, it had like almost like a sibling, like they're my asshole kind of vibes, like I can pick on them but you can't, underscore, which I really liked. Oh my god, sweet Connor becoming a fucking serial killer blew my mind. Roy, what a twist. Will, I love how, like, I sometimes struggle with wanting bad things to happen to my characters, or like making what I would call quote unquote the stupid decision. So I feel like every time we've played, you just like wholeheartedly embrace that. Um, and I have a hard time doing the stupid decision if I feel like it might kill my precious character, which is something I'm trying to get over. But you think you embrace that wholeheartedly. And then Mads, first of all, your fucking weird ass scream noise, stolen cars. I know it's why I'm a terrible ST/GM attempter, because I feel like my characters are my babies. They're not stolen cars. That's why I can't NPC well. But Mads, that fucking weird screamy noise you made, chef kiss, great. Uh, I loved the fact that you really ran, I feel like, with a lot of the things that we kind of gave you earlier and pushed and pulled them in really evocative ways. I like how you channeled the resilient role. I will second everyone else. I wanted, this is like a cab sav, it needed to breathe more. I think my suggestion, if you were to try to run this as a one shot again, would be to delete the bottom row of fear, so it's just lines of 2 instead of 3. And maybe that might be a good way to kind of amp that up a little. I mean, I was really fucking trying to wrap up fear, and I think and obviously rolls were rolls, but I still was like too shy, despite constantly taking any opportunity to grab a fear and not using my negate a fear move. So
that's a good idea because I mean, like, we've always, like, for Carl from Brindlewood Games, we've always lowered complexity if we're trying to squeeze it into a one shot because
yeah.
it's more, but most of it is meant for more episodic play. So that makes perfect sense to me. Like taking out a line of the fear track to kind of like just up the ante a bit
Yeah,
and
to
then,
kind
like,
of give it a
really
little.
stress people out.
I
Yeah,
think I think even
that's a
with
good idea.
I think even with good rolls, I think that then might be a little more reasonable, because we did have very good rolls, and sometimes that happens. Uh, and so I think, being
It'll
like, I
never
have,
happen again.
I think having that shorter time frame, taking out that row, just
Okay,
might intense the pressure there. Although I do
nice.
agree, I think I'd love to see this as a like a 3-part, like an act, sort of a like an act 1, an act 2, and an act 3 is where I
Sounds
think
good.
would be a sweet spot for this game.
Okay. All right. No, that's great. That's a great piece of advice, and I will take it if I get to run this again. And also, too, I'm like running on half cylinders.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I don't know what else you have until the wrap up. Hopefully, some rest.
A little bit of rest, and then a game in a few hours after that. Because yeah, I'll be joining the Alien Dark game, which I have no idea what the hell that's about. So yeah,
Fun.
it's
That's Die Hard in Die Hard meets Aliens, basically.
yeah, which I have, like, passing familiar
Familiar.
both. So yay! All right.
Thank you
Woohoo!
so much for running Mads. It was a
You are
great game.
welcome. You are all
Yeah,
welcome.
definitely.
Yeah. So I hope to game with you guys again soon for something. I mean, like anything,
Anytime I can
really.
be in a Mads game is a good time.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, I gotta kill you off again in a trophy dark game because, gotta
You
gotta
didn't
do
kill
that.
me last time. I didn't let you. See, I have a problem. I was like, I'll
Yeah,
become the keeper of the house.
yeah, yeah. No, you wanna sit there and like, kind of like be the strange one that says
I
I'm
do.
gonna yeah. That,
Yeah,
that
I do.
that's good. It's fun. It's a fun role to be in, I will say. Um But anyway, thank you all for very much joining me at my table and for, playing this game with me. I really hope that you'll be able to, like take it, run with it, like, go with the suggestion of like, if you do run it as a one shot, just cut off like that last line of fear track and then like, lower or excuse me, up the ante on that, to help you out. But if you do decide to run this episodically, I think that would make perfect sense. I think that would be an awesome way to do this. So happy gaming for anything else that you do for this Shared Hearth weekend, and even further, and even beyond that. So hopefully I'll get to see you in other games on the open hearth very, very soon. Alrighty, you
Yeah. Oh,
guys have a
side note,
wonderful day. Yes.
people watching, and if you're not a part of the Open Hearth, we have started a recent initiative where several really cool games have been opened specifically for people who either joined for this weekend or are new in general. Even if you haven't played any games, I highly recommend checking them out. There's a lot of really cool things that I wish I could play, but I'm going to save spots for new people.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for the shout out for Open Hearth. And yes, again, happy gaming to you all. See you.